Danger is my trade on Bad Movies Rule, the worst movie podcast ever created. And today we got the mayor, Ryan Mueller, in session. We've got the machine punter mummer in the house, and the Reverend Charles Hewitt is here because today we're talking about Red Sonja.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do it.
Kalidor. I don't need no men.
No men needed.
But you
right.
do.
The movie
Arnold.
sends one message and demonstrates another.
Yeah,
really does.
absolutely.
Kalidor knew better.
Yeah.
Well, it's Arnold. It's like we can't have that. We need men in this movie.
I feel like we gotta bust this baby out.
Oh, we do.
Oh, man, he's grabbing a sword.
Oh.
Nice.
Is that
We got
the
our
sword?
Conan sword.
We got a
The
Conan,
Conan
sword.
sword.
Should I just hold this the entire
That
episode?
looks heavy.
It is
Yeah.
heavy.
It is heavy.
I mean, it was
I've held
supposed
it.
to be Conan, but
It can be Kalidor.
Kalidor.
Kalidor sword.
Kalidor. Well, that's his traveling name.
Movies retcon stuff
That's
all the
his
time.
horseback riding name.
That's his horseback ride. He rides the horse pretty good, I thought. Arnold did.
Da-da-da.
Let's we just get this out of the way. This was supposed to be another appearance of Conan,
Yeah.
but they couldn't get the rights to the name from people that had it before, so they just named him Kalidor. But, I mean, it was supposed. Red Sonja exists with Conan in the comic books,
Well, yeah, she's a spinoff, so
Yeah.
she starred on the Conan comics.
right? So
Yeah.
there's no reason that Conan shouldn't be able to appear in Red Sonja.
He
but they
should have
couldn't.
been.
So that's why he's got a
Should have
different
been.
name. But it's essentially Conan.
Maybe he just went by his middle name.
Could be
Conan,
Yeah.
Kalidor. Conan?
Barbarian. Is that his last name?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mr. Barbarian.
Yeah.
Pretty
Nice
much-
to meet you here today.
pretty much look like Conan.
Yeah.
And Red Sonja had the same hairdo as Conan, so
All right, let's dive in. We are here. Let's get transported to the Hyborian kingdom.
And
Yeah, more like
place
high
of many
boring.
cool hats.
The race of many cool hats. You're right. Whoever
do.
was the costume designer of this movie was like,
Seriously.
I'm going all in.
Yeah.
Hats.
This is
all
it.
kinds of hats and weird shields.
And
Even
masks.
armpit shields.
right.
Dude, you don't want you to get pits cut while you're fighting.
That didn't help her. but
Armor
still.
that's not armor.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Tinfoil, just tinfoil.
Yeah.
There
This
for looks.
costume person's like, I'm
Yeah.
using 10 million of this for hats of their budget.
Give me all your hats.
No, that was supposed to be 1 million, not 10. That's why we lost all the money on this movie.
So that's why we have no extras in this entire
yeah,
film.
seriously.
Because
How
there's
many
no-
people were in these kingdoms? Like 5 people in each
5
kingdom.
people,
Yeah, that's it.
I thought of Bastards of the Universe here.
Yeah, scope
Oh,
and
absolutely. Not enough
scale
people.
was a little
couldn't afford
off
it.
on this movie.
Yeah, so we start off, there's glossing over backstories, and then there's what happens where it's literally like in the beginning of this movie, we get a little bit of text scroll, the Hyborian kingdom where Red Sonja became a person of great power. And we see a burning cabin, right?
Yes.
We see this lady lying on the ground, and
Yeah,
this
just napping.
ghost just called Sonja.
Yeah, who's
Ghost
the
of-
ghostly?
Yeah.
The ghost of Christmas past came forward, woke her up from a nap.
She did look kind of like that. Yeah.
You'll be visited by 3 ghosts.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong movie.
Definitely wasn't Patrick Swayze.
We don't know what happens, why we're here yet. She walks over and the ghost is like, you will have vengeance. This is your backstory. Even though you were totally there and already saw all of
Yeah,
this.
that's true.
I'm
And
gonna
you're
gonna
have a really
reiterate it for
powerful
you.
Sword hand.
Don't be upset.
Just to remind you.
just to remind you that apparently, okay, here's what we see. Queen Gedren, she's like, Queen Gedren wanted to get with you, but you were like, no, I'm not about that life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, was there some undertones there?
they're
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
I kind of missed what was happening in the beginning.
Because even later on, she was like, bring that beauty
fact,
to me.
Yeah.
You could
I
have ruled
missed.
with me.
I missed the whole her. Well, I can't reveal it. The whole
yet.
reveal at the end, I was
Yeah.
like, was that
Yeah.
up somewhere else?
Yeah.
And my wife's like, I remember that. And she
Yeah,
says, it was
right-
so long
right in
ago.
the
And I'm like,
backstory.
there was something about that? Because I don't remember.
The reason you forgot it is they went through the entire backstory in about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. So I don't feel
Yes.
so bad
So
that I
here's-
missed something important.
In short, here it is. Queen Gedren rolled up on Red Sonja's house and her family.
She's got the hots for
She's got the hots
Sonja.
for her. She's like, let's do this. She's like, nah, I don't swing that way. And
Smacks her with a
commits a hate
spike.
crime.
Yeah.
Smacks Gedren in the face with a spike or whatever. And then she murders her entire family and lets her guards rape Red Sonja,
Except for one sister.
I got
except
that.
for the one sister.
Yeah,
right?
apparently the sister got away.
Sister got away. And then left her there and lit her cabin on fire. And then, so this is now the ghost is waking her up. Her clothes are all torn.
Okay, I did see some
And
of
she's
that,
like,
yeah.
you will have vengeance, and here, you'll have a strong sword arm and go train and all that stuff. That's
I'd
the
be
backstory.
like, were you watching this whole time? You couldn't have helped me out before that?
What's up, Ghost?
Thanks a
Well,
lot.
she was pretty ethereal. I don't know
Real
if she
nice,
could impact the physical
Give me
plane.
some power then.
This ain't
Nice
like
fairy godmother.
Constantine.
Yeah.
Seriously.
This ain't like Constantine demon angel hybrids that can interact on the earth.
They can't do
She's
anything.
just kind of floaty white ghosty person.
It was just like the cloud.
People say the
from,
same thing when I get
Oh,
undressed.
what was that
at the beach.
Keanu movie?
Oh, there was a Keanu movie with a cloud?
Yeah, he was fighting the cloud, which was like his dad. 47 Ronin.
Oh, 40.
Yeah,
I forgot about that one.
yeah, just another cloud out there just whispering stuff.
It's funny
to
you
people.
mentioned the white body. I thought about coming in with just topless,
Yeah.
and then I'm
You would have been
no
Red Sonja
Nobody
here.
wants to see this.
You would have looked like the apparition in the
I would
beginning of
have,
the
yeah.
movie.
Well, with really dark arms.
Charles would
Like,
be
there's
just in
why
here.
is there like white arms float or brown arms floating around in the scene?
Oh, my
Oh,
Just
no,
in here,
Charles died.
yeah.
talking to the patrons, telling them to donate more.
Like a telethon. Just
I had flashbacks to when we did way back when
Yeah.
Waterworld, and Bob showed up in his swim trunks.
That's right.
Yeah.
He did, yeah, he did.
I do picture them sitting there now that they've got Arnold in this movie, who was supposed to be a very small part. And I think as it went, he was under contract. He realized it was getting bigger and bigger, and they started to, use multiple cameras to use his shots multiple
I
times.
read this.
And he was a little bit annoyed that he ended up being what was supposed to be a glorified cameo into like a huge chunk of this movie.
Yeah.
Because even the filmmakers were like, we need Arnold. for
Yeah.
this."
Arnold in this.
Because Arnold makes it better. Even these people
They knew,
Back
they
then.
understood
Yeah. Okay.
that.
Maybe that's why Red Sonja looked so surprised when he showed back up.
She was.
She's like, this wasn't in the script. She's like, time out. Can I have my script real quick? When did
Arnold
these
rolls up
rewrites
from his
get in
trailer
here?
on
Yeah,
his
yeah,
horseback into the scene, and Brigitte Nielsen's like, "What are you doing here?
right.
I don't
I'm
need
sure
no men."
She was real
and his,
thrilled too.
his 1970s Nightwing outfit.
Yeah, I'm sure she's real
knew.
thrilled too when he gets top billing on the movie.
Not
Yeah,
only
he
that,
does.
he's bigger than her on the poster and
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
Because I swear this is like the live action reality of what we talk about every week.
It is
They had an Arnoldless movie, and they're like, what would make this movie better? And they actually,
More Arnold.
they
More
actually
Arnold.
pulled off what we talk about.
Right, all the time. They
And it,
did
and it still
what
didn't make
we
enough
do.
money.
Way more than it would have made.
Yeah, the $7 million was
Maybe
part
there's
of
a
Arnold.
tipping point with how much Arnold you have in a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think here's evidence of this. They're like, okay, we've done this backstory with Red Sonja. Like, all right, guys, how should we do the opening credits? Should we show our hero training, getting better, stronger? Hell no. We're going to have Arnold riding on a horse.
Right. Do we want to see
That was-
Brigitte Nielsen
Yeah.
working a sword,
Yeah.
or do we want to see
Yeah.
Arnold rolling in on a
That was a
horseback with
lot
his
of horse riding
biceps out?
scenes.
He rode across the whole
Yeah, I
damn country.
fast forwarded that whole scroll, that whole whatever they call it.
And then you missed Arnold riding across the country.
I got enough for the first 5 seconds. I'm like, all right, Arnold's riding. How long is he riding? He's still riding. Do a little 10, 30 seconds. Still riding. Still riding. Okay, we got to something else. All right.
Give the people what they want. They
Yeah.
know what they want. The
I
people
thought he
want
was
to
a pretty
see.
good horseman.
He is. Well, after doing the first two Conan movies.
Is he a pretty big guy?
He's 6
Arnold,
foot.
he's 6 foot. Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking the horse. Okay, so it's proportional. Horse
Yeah,
is
it's
pretty big.
proportional for sure. Yeah, so we get to this, moving into the plot here. They show this big temple where there's all these priestesses, and we see a giant glowing green orb.
Yeah.
I called this the origin story of Bodai.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Yeah, it was like Bodai's angry
Bodai
cousin
from-
or something
What was
like
the name of that movie?
Solar,
Solar
Babies.
Babies.
Solar Babies, the roller skating. Yeah.
See, I thought that was the
Bodai.
ball that was locked in the garbage can at
Could
GPK.
have been that too. They glue the right color.
It looked kind of like that,
right.
didn't it? It had spikes on it.
And this whole thing is the priestesses have decided that they have to destroy this talisman because
It's too powerful.
it could destroy the world.
It certainly didn't look very dangerous sitting there in the temple.
No, it looked pretty docile.
And some of the people,
Yeah.
some of our patrons that wrote in made this point too when they wrote in with their awards. But it's like, okay, assuming you've had this talisman for a while,
Yeah.
like why'd you hang on to it so long?
Yeah.
Why didn't you destroy it a long time ago? Like they finally are destroying it right as the bad guys are riding up to take it.
Right.
Like what if they just woke up earlier
Yeah.
that morning and did it that morning?
Well, I mean, maybe
instead?
there's a spy in the midst. Stuff happens.
I don't know.
Here's the question I have. Well, we'll get to it later.
Well, Arnold's on his way to help destroy this
Yes.
thing.
Which
if
we
I'm
don't.
not
Yes,
mistaken, right?
he is.
Which we
well,
find out
Yeah,
later.
I was going to make sure it's getting destroyed.
Because he's some sort of priestess or
Right. He's the
Whatever.
High
He's
Lord.
the High
High
Lord.
Lord. That's what it was.
which we didn't know until later.
Yeah.
Because they
just said we're waiting.
Which makes me laugh
Yeah.
because it's like, well, you showed up a little late, pal.
Yeah.
Right. He should have been on time too.
Those
Yeah,
priestesses-
if Arnold
There's
was
a
on
lot of
time.
time going on here.
Those priestesses had awesome hats.
They did. They
They
had
did.
great
She
hats.
opened up and they had a breastplate, and I love the armpit shield.
She had the armpit shields.
was
Again, don't want to look. I also love how this is like, I don't know, 3,000 years in the past, but all the women have shaved their legs and armpits.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
Right.
that's been important for a long time.
Very important.
super important. And
I think Jesus said something about that, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it in the red part?
That's right.
That's in 2 Corinthians 17.
Yes.
They,
It's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt shave armpits and legs.
that's right. Surprised you didn't know that. It's in the Apocrypha. So, what am I getting to here? The priestesses are holding this ceremony. They're going to destroy the orb.
Yes.
Right? And meanwhile, Queen Gedren is riding up. Now she's wearing like a mask that's
I
like
love the crown mask combo. That was awesome.
She looked like the Ultimate Warrior. Like it was the
did.
same shape as the Ultimate
Sure.
Warrior's
Yeah, it was.
mask, you know?
That was cool crown mask thing,
And he wasn't a wizard, but like her second in command was Icol, was his name, was Icol.
which is Loki backwards.
It is Loki backwards. It's also the same guy that played the main Nazi in
Yes.
Raiders.
Yes.
The dude who's that had burned his hand, with the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, he did some other stuff. Big stuff,
Yes.
yeah.
And so he crawls up on the ceiling. They're going to assault the place because they want evil Bodhi for themselves.
He had quite a helmet.
They all did.
Yes.
Even Queen Gedren's thing was awesome. He ninja stars. So right as they're about to fit, he like through the ceiling.
Right through a breastplate.
Ninja stars through the breastplate of this
Oh, my
priestess.
armor is too thin.
No one cares.
No.
You notice how everybody, there's
Yeah.
3 separate shots, and all the other priestesses are just looking around.
Yeah, she gets stuck hard too. She's like, and everybody's like, what? What's going on with her
Yeah.
over there?
It's just
Only-
like
Yeah.
normal
say-
Tuesday around here.
Just only Janet Argan. Janet Argan plays Red Sonja's sister, who's
Arnie.
there with the priestess, also red-haired.
Yep.
Yeah. I
And-
thought she was Red Sonja at
What?
one moment.
I wish she had been
That
Red Sonja.
Right.
That's what
Right?
I thought too at first.
Because here, as the guards attack, right after they ninja star, the guards pour in, and it's the priestesses versus the guards, and the priestesses do
They
pretty
did
well
pretty
for a
well,
while.
Yeah, they held them all.
And specifically, Janet Argan's putting in some
Yeah.
work, and she's
Yes.
slicing dudes left and right. And
Yeah,
I'm thinking, man, couldn't she have been Red Sonja?
Right.
That would have been
She's doing great.
fantastic.
Maybe she could have went and got Daniel Green and his hands of steel.
Yes, a year after Red Sonja, Janet Argan would go and own a diner and help out.
She was the girl.
That was the
her.
blonde from the.
Man,
Yeah.
these movies have terrible connections. They just go from one tragedy to another. I feel so bad for these poor actors.
She
We're going down the rabbit hole. Let's go.
she was Daniel Green's love interest in Hands of Steel.
Oh man!
A year
All right,
after this.
there she goes.
She probably didn't recognize her because of the red hair.
Yeah,
thing.
she got a better part in that one. I
Killed
guess.
it in Red Sonja and moving up from
That's right.
priestess warrior to diner owner.
She literally killed it.
She
in Red
literally
Sonja.
killed it.
So they eventually overtake the priestesses. Now Janet Argan's the only one that survives. She's going to sneak out the back. In the meantime, Queen Gedren rides into the building on her horse, goes over to the orbs, and she says, "So this, hold on, I have it here. I don't want to get it wrong. So this can make worlds." That's it. That's the whole line. And
And everyone stands there to make sure she's finished
Yeah,
the line
and
before
they're
they
like-
act the next line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she say storms? I didn't hear. I'm in the back.
Or-
Did she say storms?
or it can destroy worlds with storms.
Yeah.
Right? And so she tells her first guard,
Touch it.
"Touch it, touch it."
I
Guard's
felt
like,
like,
"Okay."
yeah, I'll touch it.
Well, yeah, he was a little hesitant. He's like, all right.
What am I touching here exactly, Queen? There's
It's a
so
green
many
ball.
things in here. I kept thinking to myself, I have such a 9, 10-year-old, 12, 13,
He's like,
14
"Could
year
you
old.
be more specific?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to touch something.
He touches the orb, vanishes
Vanishes.
immediately.
Gone.
Then he turns. Then she
Great
turns
effect,
to her
by the way.
hand to her handmaiden,
I like her name. He's like,
and she goes, "You touch it." And she's
like,
you're right.
she looks at her like,
She looks at her like, "I ain't touching shit."
I don't know about that plan.
You touch it.
You touch it.
You're a girl. Why don't you touch it?
Yes. And so this is all to establish that only women can touch it because she does touch it and nothing happens.
Only women.
And she kind of takes a deep breath. She's like,
Oh, thank God. Yeah,
still
right.
alive.
Exactly. Good.
That's kind of my motto.
What's that?
Only women can touch it.
Okay.
I should say only one woman
one
can
specific-
touch it. Yes.
one very
Only
specific
one
woman.
woman can touch it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I
I really tried hard not to make that joke.
no.
I didn't try hard enough.
It's valid.
You beat
all
me
right.
to it.
We enjoyed it. It was worth it.
The next section of this movie is kind of ridiculous. So they start chucking the priestesses. So I should have said that the way they were going to destroy the orb was there was this like hole into the earth and the very slow closing mechanism was going to cover this pit up. And they were going to drop it down in there.
Close it up and flush it.
But instead they start chucking priestesses into
down
the
there,
hole.
Yeah.
Yep.
then that's closing on them. But does something live down there?
It sounds like they're getting eaten by the Snorlax machine or whatever that thing in Star Wars is. What's that?
I don't know, but they're making very specific weird noises.
Yeah, just like nothing good going on, or maybe something too good's going on.
It's
hard to discern.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounded like they fell a long way to still be screaming.
Yeah, they did.
And then eventually it shuts, and I'm like,
Actually, I thought this was cool. It had a device to open and close it, and Queen Gedren dropped it in while it was closing, so no one could
stop it. But they were going to put the thing down there to destroy it. So like whatever that is supposed to eat the orb.
I don't know. That was
and then become all powerful.
What? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I gotta say this. I gotta give the movie props where it gets props.
Oh, please give it props.
When they were about ready to shove the priestesses in the hole, I'm like, how are they going to do that? And they legit tossed them head first into the hole. I'm like, holy crap. That was like, that wasn't playing around. It wasn't like no shove and push and drop down. No, they were all going in head first. I think those stunt women earned their pay that day.
For sure.
Yeah, they did.
They actually did get hurt. They're like,
now
down their
tape
leg.
rolling, whatever this guy is.
I'm down here. I'm very badly injured.
Yeah, if I'm making a stupid movie, I'm getting the best shots I can get. So just throw them on the floor.
Oh, God. Somebody hit me with the key. Who threw the key down here? What an idiot.
Janet's really hurt, guys. It's not fun anymore.
Not funny.
I don't think legs are supposed to bend that way.
I have somebody's hat. Whose hat is this?
I have a wound. All right, so
Very badly bleeding.
that's what I thought immediately was Will Ferrell and Austin Powers.
It's getting gangrenous.
It smells like almonds. It's not good. All right, so this come to the part of the movie where it's the worst math I've ever seen happen. Like, there's no one that can add or count on this production committee. Janet Argren is running away from the temple, and some of the guards spot her, and they chase after her. Specifically, 3 guards chase after her.
3 guards.
She gets to this zip line.
Yes.
Okay, there are 2 leads hanging from the zip line.
Saw that.
Yep.
She grabs one.
Yeah.
How many does that leave?
I think 1.
1.
Yes.
She slides down. Then the guards run up, and now there's 3 leads at the top of the zip
I
line.
missed that. I was so excited watching her going down
Immediately.
the zip line.
Right.
I didn't pay
And as she did that, I was thinking, why didn't you take both zip lines?
Right? That's an excellent point.
I also enjoy the fact that they run out with no bow,
Nothing.
no
nothing.
arrows.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
And then
nothing.
And all of a sudden, Jim Cotta happens,
They
and there's
manifest.
just a lonely arrow from nowhere
what
right
it
to her
was.
spleen.
Yeah.
Kurt, you know what it was? They found the chest out in the bush out there that had 3 bow and arrows in it.
They looted
Like
up.
Fortnite, they just opened up a
Fortnite,
treasure chest
opened
and
it up, it
all
was
the
there.
weapons popped out. Oh,
Ammo
yeah,
box
nice.
and that right next to it for the arrows. Yeah.
Yeah, so they fire as she's ziplining down. She catches an arrow right in the back.
Yeah.
Hangs on to
Oh,
the
yeah.
rope
Oh,
yeah. I think her wrist was through the. Yeah.
like a champ. She's hanging down there.
Yeah.
Arnold is at the bottom where she lands. So this is where it gets even more stupid. She lands. He picks her up. He's like, here.
He literally moves her 3 feet.
I will carry you 3 feet over here
over
to the
here,
tree.
let's just move.
Puts her down.
Hides her in a bush.
Like puts her next to the tree. You never see the dude ziplining.
No.
No.
But after he spends like 10 seconds, like, are you all right? Now he gets attacked by the dude.
Yeah.
Assuming they ziplined across the
so,
gorge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way to get there.
Must be.
He then kills 7 guys.
Wait, so
there
they're
are
like
3
Mogwai.
So let's
3
go.
leads.
Yep.
One was they one. 2
One
minus
she
1
took.
is 1,
Yep.
but then there was 3 leads, and then 7 guys came across.
Yes.
Yeah.
So on those 3 leads, 2 guys each, so that's 6. But the one
That guy's
before,
really hand over hand, really fast.
you go on. I'll catch up. I'll catch up.
One had his own
You go
carabiner.
before
He
me.
just
Yeah.
clicked up
Or maybe
there and
there's
zipped
just a
down.
bridge down the way. How did Arnold get there?
He was coming
he was
from
coming
the other
the other way.
direction.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm like, okay.
It's got to be a bridge somewhere.
Whatever.
That's like the escape zip line.
Well,
How'd they know that was there?
Because it was going downhill. So, I mean, that's
The
a
escape
one-way
zip
zip
line.
line.
Well, that's usually how zip lines work. You
Yeah.
can't really go uphill on them.
No.
True, yeah.
And they also got across that absolutely silently because they surprised him.
Right.
He was
Yeah,
so
he didn't even hear
focused.
that.
and their armor clattering, hats just wind whistling through their hats.
Clack, 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 clack.
He was so focused on the girl because she was so hurt. He was so worried.
Right through the worst chainmail
Doesn't
ever.
stop from
Feels
Arnold
better.
decapitating somebody, though.
Yeah, a lot of it. I learned that when you decapitate a head, it goes flying in the air.
It has
Yes, it
to.
does. Has to.
It's
It's
movie
a law.
rules.
Several feet up.
Okay, it's a trope.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Way up.
Way up.
Yeah.
Now,
Volley it up there.
Yeah.
We then cut away to
Set it for a spike.
Is that the blood pressure pushing it off like that?
the movie. Begrudgingly is like we have to show our main character at some point. So
Yeah.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
they cut to her training. Thank God they skipped over all. She's like, "All right, you're done with training." That's the first.
But
scene,
hey,
right?
flag guy, shoulder
like Flag Guy?
Yeah.
Unbelievable costume.
It was like if Queen Amidala was an old Asian man, right?
I want me some
the
shoulder
hair.
pad flag. Yes.
Black guy.
And he's wearing
These giant flags. that
these
go
sticks
out.
are sticking
Yeah.
6 feet out in each direction, all around him.
Yeah.
He's like a walking used car salesman
Right.
sign. You know what I mean?
He was awesome.
Inflatable tube man.
What are those?
And
mean?
he's like, oh, you're so great. And she's like,
He's
"I
watching
hate men."
Sonia fight this other guy,
Yeah.
and
That's
I'm
like
and all I'm
3
not even
sizes
Yeah.
smaller than her.
well,
Right.
Brigitte Nielsen's huge, and all I can think about is I'm not even watching her fight. I'm just like, how does he get new flags? Is like every diaper warrior he trains, he gets another flag on his
How
back.
does he walk through hallways?
How does he live in this arena because he can't go through doors?
And the giant statue of the guy sitting with the two
Yeah.
swords.
Yeah. One gust of wind and he's in the next county. I mean, just
He's Kite Man.
He's a kite.
It was very impressive. In his line, hatred of men and a lovely young woman, such could be your downfall.
Right.
I don't hate all men, Grandmaster. Those words would have brought music to my heart 30 years ago.
Yeah.
yeah. My wife was like, wouldn't she have been like 10?
Yeah. Poor Red
Yeah.
Sonja. She got some man issues.
Because what happens
and
is
all the
after-
men are hitting on her or doing worse.
This guy that she was training with, after she defeats him, and the flag man is
Yeah,
like,
this is important.
You've been completed your
You're
training."
the master of masters.
This little dude tries to go in for a hug. I'm like,
Yeah.
bring it in, bro. I felt so bad. She
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
was just like, I'm not hugging you.
Yeah.
And he
Right.
walked away all dejected, and that's
Did.
when he was like, don't hate
I
men.
know. Don't
Right?
hate men.
Come on, man. And she's this is an ongoing theme for her throughout
she doesn't
throughout
like
the movie
men.
because of her obviously traumatic past. She has a problem with that. But he does give her a sword. He's like, you can now pick any sword you want from the armory, and the sword literally speaks to her, Sonia, pick me, please.
Yeah. It's always a good sign with
Just
sword
sitting
talk.
there, rattling like the
happens
little
if you-
kindergartner waving her hand. That sword's just like, pick me.
What happens
Sonia,
if you
over
don't
here."
pick the sword that calls you?
I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have her
Pissed and, like,
powers.
screaming at you. at
You
the end?
pick one sword and the sword's like, oh,
Sword's a sword, right? It's a thing of steel.
I don't know. That sword just comes out and starts waving around because it's
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. It comes out.
Conan rides through the legs of the giant statue, and here he comes. He's like, "You sister, I have her. You've got to come. She's dying."
yeah.
Right?
He's very straight to the point in this movie.
Yes, he is.
He's just,
Because he doesn't want to be there.
yeah. It's like, I'm looking for Red Sonja. Your sister's dying. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's
That's it.
it.
That's the
It's
whole-
like, all right.
And the old man's like, "I don't trust him. He doesn't have any flags. I don't know about this guy."
How come no one else knew he was a High Lord?
And no one knew who he was. He just seemed to be a random traveler.
With all those sweet sequins he's got
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah.
I don't know. But she does. So Red Sonja
Got his
does go with
disco
him.
cup on.
He had like trash bags on his horse too. I noticed.
They rode out to this giant rock bull, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like a creature that is frozen there, or if
Yeah.
it was like skeletal remains of.
I don't know either. It was confusing.
either. It was a little bit weird. But her sister is resting. She's about to die. She's underneath this giant rock cow bull thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, Sonia, I must give you the plot details. Hurry.
Yeah.
Come over here.
I'm an information person.
The evil queen has the talisman. And she's like, no, rest. We can talk later. She's like, no, we can't. I'm not in the rest of the movie. I have to tell you this now.
This is already taking too long. They're running out of film for this part.
Who am I looking for? A woman with a gold mask.
That's right. You have 13 days before the talisman destroys the world.
It's oddly specific.
Very
Very
specific.
specific.
Swear that you'll find and destroy the talisman. And then she's mustering up the best act. I swear.
I swear.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
did. She kind of sounded like Arnold
She
with
did
that.
sound like Arnold in the whole movie.
I thought she sounded a bit more like Stallone.
Guys, her acting is so
No.
terrible.
It was terrible.
It's not the worst acting in the movie.
Well, we'll discuss that at the end.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
tell me
We'll
your
have some
submission
discussions
is for
about that.
But at this point, she's trying to muster tears. It was embarrassed. She's just like, she goes, because Arnold's like, come on, we have to go finish her work, right?
No, he says she's dead and the living have work to do.
And she goes, her work, my work are no concern of yours. And that's her doing her crying voice.
Yeah.
She's tough.
And then she lays down her head on her sister, and it looks like she's laughing, but she's supposed to be crying.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Her
awful.
acting
It's terrible.
killed her sister.
You might as well have brought Tom Arnold in for that scene. Just
The two of them.
Sorry about your dad.
sorry, you got an arrow in your back.
Yeah.
So bad. Like, sometimes it's like, that's fine, but it's noticeably terrible.
that was bad.
But yeah, it's another great delivery from Schwarzenegger because it's just right again, back to the point.
Right.
Oh God,
And
Arnold's
she's got work to
dead.
do.
She's dead. Let's go.
Yeah.
Even Arnold's like, they're cut to him a couple times while the sisters are in air quotes acting to each other, and it cuts to Arnold, and the look on his face was like, "Yeesh, thank God I'm not in the rest of this movie." And then he turns to a producer. I am in the rest.
The rest of this movie.
I am in the rest.
Oh yeah, here's a rewritten script, Arnold. We saw the first few scenes. Yeah, we're gonna need you for the rest of this.
Terrible.
This is when we get a good shot of the whole suit too that Schwarzenegger's wearing.
What'd you think of his suit?
I thought it looked like Nightwing's 1970 Nightwing's outfit from Batman. It's just like disco stew, man.
I thought it was interesting that he didn't do. I mean, he wore basically a diaper in the first two Conan movies.
Yeah.
And this one, he's almost completely covered, like long sleeves, long legs.
he's just got
everything.
the guns out.
But he's still wearing
A disco cup.
the giant cup.
Yeah.
Like
It's all sequined out.
sequined Andre the Giant cup.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm doing sword fighting, I'm wearing a cup.
Yeah, you don't want to take a sword there.
For sure. All right. So
Every time it hits his crotch, it goes ching.
He saw Breaker Dick Punch. And he's like, that ain't happening to me.
Bring your best, Mr. Norris.
Dude hangs around a lot of horses, is all I got to say.
Right.
I could catch a stray from a horse.
That's true.
Be terrible. I think it happens fast before you even know it. There's like a delayed reaction when a horse kicks you. You're just like, did that just happen?
And he just hits him. He's like, you just hear clang. Like somebody dropped an anvil.
The horse drops.
The horse is
Horse.
limping away
They
with a
gotta
gimp leg.
put the
We have
horse
to
down.
shoot your horse.
They
they
broke
put
his
the
leg
horse
on my.
down.
Yeah, okay. All right. So
On my oak.
they do see that there's this giant storm off in the distance, and Red Sonja's like, "Where is that? What is that place over there?" And he's like, "This is Hablak. It's a great city." They're like, "Well, we got to go there. They're using the talisman to destroy it, right?" And she's like, "I'm not going anywhere with you."
Says, I know you're a brave girl. My wife didn't like girl.
What's wrong with saying "girl"?
She's a woman.
Is that okay? I didn't know that was derogatory. I'm sorry.
Can't be.
All right. I know you're a brave woman.
There you go. And then she said, I don't need any man's help.
That's right. And Arnold grabs the reins of the horse before she, so she won't ride away. Ultimately, he releases.
Yeah.
But for a second, it's like, man, if that horse had any idea how much its life was in danger at that moment, because the dude is a famous horse puncher in all of these movies. And he grabbed the horse's reins. I was like,
Oh, here we go.
this horse.
This horse is about to
Get it pulled a little. He's like,
Man, oh man.
Is this before or after the giant nest death?
Ness.
Yeah, they dropped the sister in a giant bird's nest and then light it on fire.
Oh yeah. That's like
that's
a Viking burial thing.
Well, that wasn't a death. Like, she was already dead. That's just how they buried their people back in
I
the day.
gotcha.
That's like a Viking
Thought it
ritual.
was super weird.
No, in the Conan movies, they did the
Set
same
them out
thing.
on the lake and set
fact-
them on fire.
The lady that played Queen Gedren in this had that funeral in the Conan movie. They lit her pyre on fire and burned up the same way.
I just thought Baby Huey'd show up and be like, not my nest. What are you doing?
Baby Huey showed up in this. It'd be terrible.
Or Big Bird, I guess, since it was in the 70s.
Yep.
So Sonja leaves without Kalidor, Conan, and ends up getting to Hablak. But Hablak has already been destroyed. And so this is where we meet Prince Tarn and Falcon. And Prince Tarn is dangling or balancing on the end of like a giant stone hand from a statue.
Yes, it seemed very random.
Very random.
Very random.
How did that kid end up on the end of a
That's what I was like.
balancing
What is
over
a kid
cliff?
doing in this movie?
This is the thing. They couldn't afford any extras or anything. And so everywhere they got to, the armies are already done. The battle has happened. The
Yes.
place is destroyed and all the armies have left because there's only ever 2 or 3 people in
Yes.
any scene.
Yeah.
in this movie. And so by the time they get there, the city's already been destroyed.
Where'd the 17 million go then?
I don't know. That's
Arnold got 16
salaries. I don't know. Maybe he did. Sonja saves the two of them off of this stone hand, and Prince Tarn is being annoying just immediately.
Yes.
He treats Falcon, who's like his manservant or bodyguard or Secret Service agent or whatever you want to say. Father figure. He treats him like garbage, just calls him every name under the sun.
It's a bad name.
You idiot. What are you doing?
Clumsy oaf.
Literally trying to save your life, dude.
Yeah.
But he's still sitting on his throne. The whole city is destroyed. And the prince is sitting on his throne, and Falcon's trying to put the throne back
together. My wife was making something in the kitchen. She says, "What's that thudding noise?" I said, "Oh, he's putting the throne back together."
And I'm watching this. I'm like, there's boiling mud down there, and it's like, Falcon, what are you doing? It's just all you got to do is oops. And there he goes in the boiling mud.
And you're free, buddy.
You're free, buddy.
Free forever.
Nobody sees anything.
I was a little disappointed that we got to keep Prince Tarn in this movie for a while. He sort of wore on me, but I'm like, I thought this was going to be quick and we're good and we're going to move on.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
No, not
He's in the whole thing. Hope you signed up for a lot of Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah. We got a lot of.
He's in this whole thing.
Is that technically comedic,
I think
relief?
He's supposed to be the comedy relief.
Yeah.
Him and Falcon. Falcon's pretty capable. Falcon's a big dude. I think Paul Smith is the guy's name.
Yep.
The thing I always remember him from are two things. One, Maverick. He was the Russian guy in Maverick that was paying money to hunt Indians for real and ended up getting Maverick into the poker game. And then, obviously, Popeye. He was Brutus in the Popeye movie with Robin Williams.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the same guy. And so I love that dude. I thought he was good. He had the throwing knives and the giant bone.
Yeah.
Bone's hard as anything, man. That would be a great weapon to use. I was down for that.
He was a good fighter when he got in.
He was a good fighter, yeah.
Ultimately, they tell Sonja, hey, Queen Gedren was here. This is where Sonja finds out that it is Gedren who had burned up her family that she's after. But to get to her palace and the land of perpetual night, you can go the super long scenic way, or you can take Breitag's toll road is the quickest way.
Yeah.
And so she says, I'll take Breitag's toll road.
Breitag's kind of a...
I can't wait to talk about Breitag. Right as they're about to leave, Prince Tarn says to Falcon, ask the woman if she'd like to join my army. We'll probably need a cook.
Yeah.
I was damn.
I know.
911, I'd like to report a murder.
Of a small child.
Go make me some sandwiches.
This kid's about to get killed. I couldn't believe he fired a shot like that at Red Sonja.
Well, Sonja knew he's a little boy. He needed to grow up a little bit.
She's like, oh, okay.
Terrible.
I'm assuming, did Tarn's dad get killed or something? The king? We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't
He's
know
the
much.
prince. He's not the king.
Weren't a
right?
lot of dead bodies around either.
He's out of his Falcon mind
Because
talking
they
to
couldn't afford the dead
Sonja.
body.
Just throw some dummies on the ground.
Sorry.
All right, so here we go to Breitag's toll road. Breitag, played by the one and only Pat Roach. Pat Roach, who we last talked about as, oh my gosh, I'm pulling a blank now. Pat Roach was the wizard that turned into a lizard in Conan the Destroyer that was swinging Arnold around by his feet, and every time he broke a mirror, it would hurt the lizard guy or whatever.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Got it.
Oh, you used a lot of same actors.
Yes, and he also was the big Nazi that Harrison Ford fought by the airplane in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
All right.
That got chewed up by the propeller.
Yeah, okay.
And he was the giant Indian guard that in Temple of Doom he fights on a conveyor belt.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And
But wait, there's
he
more.
was in Clash of the Titans.
All right.
And he also was Cal. Have you guys ever seen Willow?
Yes.
You know the bad dude with the big skull helmet? That same dude. It's Pat Roach.
Oh, wow.
So this I love this guy. He's awesome.
So he was in better movies than this.
Yes, much better movies.
So a better tie-in than before.
But he's always in awesome.
He was in Robin Hood,
parts.
Prince of Thieves, too.
Yep.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He was the main of the Celtic when they brought in those barbarians.
Oh.
Yeah. So Pat Roach is sitting there. He's surrounded by these dudes in like marlin helmets.
They had all kinds. They had like elephant, marlin, and fan, and
This one killed me. I just wanted Breitag to be like, "You like our helmets? I make them wear them as a joke."
That would have been funny.
It's just they look ridiculous.
No, absolutely. His whole army.
His whole army.
And
looks
I just love he's like laying on a bed.
Yeah.
And there's just two guys standing there, and he's just
It's their
like
job to watch.
rolling around on his on his linens.
Apparently, they all just sit in there and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Nothing better to do.
everybody look at me. My name is Breitag.
Why Breitag has a toll, there's to get through this gate, you have to have the key, which is around his neck.
Yep.
And so he extracts a toll in order to use his road and his gate. And we find out that the toll is sexual in nature.
Yes,
And
for ladies.
For ladies.
For ladies.
For men, it seems like they have to fight him because as Breitag boasts, I've killed 177 men, and the only one who's alive has no legs.
Yes.
Right? And so
Is he in Monty Python? Holy Grail?
that's it.
Black Knight?
That's it. That was the Black Knight that he's still alive.
Right.
Sitting back there by Breitag's toll road going,
Yeah.
'Tis but a scratch.
Scratch. Yep.
So she obviously is like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's not gonna
That's
happen.
not going to happen, buddy.
No.
In
Good
fact,
luck.
I'm just going to kill you, and then I'm going to go through. But will your men let me live if I'm killing you? Because there's like 50 people here, right?
Right.
I gotta say, at this moment,
Yeah.
I laughed really hard because she's like getting ready to gear up, right?
Yes.
She's getting ready to fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see her stiffen. She pulls the sword out.
Yeah.
And the horse is like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
The horse just jets.
Nope.
Just nope. Not going to be a part of this. I'll see you later.
The horse knew. Yep, they're not going to let us live.
That ain't
Nope.
gonna work.
I'm getting out of here.
I'm not becoming glue. I'm out of here.
I know it's a skeezy part, and I love Pat Roach, and so I didn't want him to win because his character is reprehensible. He's extracting sex and
Yeah.
stuff for people to go through the door. But man, Pat Roach, I felt bad because his job in every movie he's in is to get his ass kicked. Like whether it's by Indiana Jones,
He does it well.
or Val Kilmer in Willow, or Red Sonja in this movie, or whatever
Yeah.
movie he's in. His job is to be the person that the good guy beats up.
Right.
And he's like this huge, massive, awesome dude.
Yeah.
So if there's any justice in the world, come on. Brigitte Nielsen versus Pat Roach.
Yeah, I'm
That
not
was a
buying
pretty
it.
good fight. She won.
She won. She does kill him. She opens up his belly. I did like he goes, I'll feed your eyes to the birds, red hair.
Yes.
Like all of his lines.
Yes, they were good lines.
Yeah, yeah, good one.
Yeah,
And
over
way
the
he
top.
said it.
I'll read your
Fantastic.
future in your entrails. And she says, your future is over or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he had all kinds of great lines. So she does kill him in a pretty brief fight.
Yeah.
But the dudes are advancing. Like they're not going to let her live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Arnold shows up again to
Yes.
save her again.
Arnold pops up right behind him, literally pops up.
Literally pops
and
up.
starts breaking heads.
He's like, hello, I'm here. And he goes, Sonia, get out of here. And like tells her to run. She kills one guy. He
Yeah.
kills 17 people.
He gets on a horse, or she gets on a horse.
Yeah.
Takes
starts
off.
It takes off.
He kills about
Tells her.
17
Arnold
people.
slaps it on the ass with his sword.
Arnold's like tells her, you got to give your horse some smelling salts. I had to knock it out so it wouldn't run away.
I had to punch it in the face. Wake up your horse and get out of here.
It's kind of my thing.
She takes the key, she unlocks the gate, and I was amazed at how easy that gate was to open.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super
Really well engineered. One person can open a giant gate like that.
A lock that big, you couldn't just
Right.
pick it.
Yeah.
After he kills like 17
Just
of
with
the
her
guards.
sword. Just
Right. It would have been nothing for her to stick her sword in there and
With
pick
the
it.
way they've built her up in this movie and how strong she is, she should have been able to just kick it open.
That
right?
too.
Sure.
Right.
But they're being chased. So she runs to the gate. Arnold is now being chased to the gate by the remainder of the people after he kills 17 of them. There's 30 left or whatever. They all chase him to the gate. Now, once they get it open, she leaves. And he's like, I'll stay here. I'll hold them off. And he runs back in. And I think all the soldiers were like, oh, crap, he's staying here. I thought we were going to chase him out.
Right.
He just goes back and keeps killing people.
He's just like riding around. They're all like in this big group. They're like, oh no.
He's in zero danger.
He's riding his horse around in a circle with
he
his
is.
sword out,
Yeah.
just taking
Right.
heads.
Yeah.
He is in zero danger for his life. Anyway, so Sonia leaves and leaves him behind yet again. I'll come back and save you again later. Sonia is now traveling through the forest, and we run on Prince Tarn again. Apparently, they took the long scenic route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's being stretched between these
Gonna
two
be
horses.
Drawn and quartered.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah,
And-
by like the jean brigade. Like these guys are all wearing like two pairs of jeans. Just what's going on?
This is Terry
We
Richardson.
spent all that money on the first two groups. We kind of had to go scrounging through some.
We ran out of hats. We're just gonna have to put this felt on your head.
We got
all
pants.
their money to the helmets. You know how much we spend in pit guards?
Yeah,
You're wearing Levi's.
2 pair.
2 pair. Action jeans from Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
The first pair are tight. The second pair a little bit bell bottomy. They look good.
This guy that is the ringleader of these bandits is played by Terry Richardson, who now after who was the Nazi in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then Pat Roach, who was the giant guy. This is the third bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wow.
Terry Richardson played. He was painted brown, but he was the big giant guy that swung the sword around that Harrison Ford just shot because he didn't want to fight him. That was that same dude.
Okay.
That is stretching Tarn in the forest. They had 3 bad guys from the same movie.
They're drawing out the extras
This one.
or whatever.
Seriously. So she comes over, Sonja chops one of the taut ropes, sends the one guy
That was hilarious. Right?
That was
His
funny.
screen.
Yeah.
Falcor, that's the freaking dragon.
Falcor is in this movie. Junior.
I'm here, Sebastian. He flies in.
That's Alan Oppenheimer, by the way, who's the voice of Skeletor from He-Man: The Masters of the Universe.
I'll save you, Sebastian.
Yeah, I'll save you.
So Falcon,
You royal
comes in.
boom.
He saves the day. Tarn even gets to beat up one of the, Ernie Reyes Jr. drop kicks a couple of these guys.
Yeah, he goes like mini Jackie Chan on him. Just,
Yeah. And they chase these guys off.
He's not that much shorter than Jackie Chan.
No, he's not.
And I guess
really
by
not.
then he was martial artist. He knew a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We cut back to the bad guys' lair, and we get to see the Chamber of Lights for the first time.
Which is just candles.
It's
There's a lot
the
of them.
Chamber of Lights,
There's
Charles.
so many candles.
Chamber of
Inside
Lights.
Fake Mountain.
Okay?
So funny is I thought to myself, a couple of things are hilarious to me in this scene just because of my watching it. My first thing is,
Keep the Skeletor thing going.
that's a lot of candles. How do they light them all where they're not all dead by the time you get to the other side?
I thought the first thing I was like, what poor guard is on
Yeah,
candle duty?
seriously.
Right.
That's his job.
And then the second
She
thing
walks
is,
in. Candle number 87 is out. How dare you?
And then the second thing was hilarious is I'm going, man, that's a lot of candles. Icor says, do we need this many candles?
Yeah.
Should we have this many
I
candles?
was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what happens if they all go out every 3 days?
Good God, I'm glad Flagman didn't walk in there. He would have bursted into flames. His beard would have went up.
You must go and defeat the queen, for I cannot.
Or I cannot fit inside the candle room.
They have candles.
Perhaps fewer candles. And then I'm thinking to myself, wait, the talisman can be powered by candlelight?
Yeah, so they bring the talisman in, and then she wants to keep it in the Chamber of Light, which is just a tiny room.
Wouldn't
with
even like
candles
mirrors or
everywhere.
anything to
No,
intensify it.
just candles.
Because the candles feed the orb and make it
I mean, there's
strong.
like 1,000 candles in there.
It's just light.
I don't know.
Any kind of light, I guess.
Then a wizard from like another damn movie or something comes
It's
in.
that guy. It's that guy.
It's like he just stepped out of another film.
Saunters in, yeah, like through a portal.
He
Just
comes in. He's like different color scheme, everything.
Yeah.
He's like, there are intruders that are coming through your land. I'll pull up the security feed on your television set.
No, can we first talk about the longest walk to the throne room? It's like a minute long. They're walking, click, 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 clack, click.
It's a
clack,
long
clack,
time.
clack, long
They got to
time.
pad this thing. It's only 89 minutes, man.
Yeah, and they could have cut out 20 minutes of transport.
That's what I mean. There's no movie. This is it's a very, very basic plot. It's literally she finds out you have to go to Queen Gedren's to destroy the talisman. The whole movie is she just rides to Queen
Yes,
Gedren's.
pretty much.
And it's a very straight line.
And there's a
movie.
giant spider in the throne room, which we never see from again.
That's it.
yeah, I like that spider.
Yeah.
That was cool.
The thing that just spins around on
Yeah.
axis
Yeah.
360.
Yeah.
She
It's
just
not-
pets it. Yeah.
It's not even
Starts
touching the
purring.
ground.
It starts purring. Give it a little catnip.
And what was the...
But why does
Little
she?
milk,
Why does she
little bowl
have?
of milk.
Okay, but why does she have a television
And
set?
why? What exactly is that wizard watching when he first powers
he's
it on?
Close your browser, dude.
My wife and I are
forgot
like,
to clear his
what
browser."
is happening?
I kept calling it Steam TV. I'm like, what is going on?
Queen.
And was it a
Queen
guy or a
Gedren.
woman?
There's a woman. He comes. He's like, "There's intruders. They're literally going to pull up security camera footage on a television set. We're in the medieval times.
We caught him on camera 4.
They wheel out this TV,
Yeah.
Right.
They wheel this thing out.
and they turn it on, and the first thing is on is a topless girl belly dancing, and the wizard's like, "Who's watching this?"
My bad. Quick, change the channel. Change the channel.
That was so dumb.
And then it cuts to now we can see not Kalidor. I wish it was Kalidor. Sonja and Falcon and Tarn are traveling.
Everybody, yeah.
Coming through. And she's like, this is where now she realizes it's that girl that mutilated me, and we have to make sure that we use the orb to make a tiny storm and force them into this specific cave.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that again. We have to make a storm with the orb to force them into this specific cave where the killing machine will take care of everything.
Yeah.
Because apparently the guy that names things was off that day or something.
Is that the line where the guy's like, do we have to use a killing machine? It's really hard or it's dangerous for us?
Yeah, we can't really control it. There's no guarantee that it'll work.
Cole's kind of got some good points.
He's the voice of reason through this whole movie.
It's kind of messy and hard to deal with. Maybe we shouldn't use it that way.
No, we're definitely using it. But they couldn't come up with a name for the thing?
No, it's a killing machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
It's to the point, just like Arnold in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Just let's be right to the point.
Here's the line exactly of Cole's concern.
Yeah.
It says, "My queen, this pet of yours is difficult for the rest of us to control. There can be no guarantees that something won't, go wrong. If anything does, you will be its next victim."
And she just has gotten done saying she wanted Red Sonja alive without a scratch on her. Right?
Yeah.
But I'll take a gamble.
We'll use this killing machine that's difficult to control by
See
the
how it goes.
makers and see how it goes.
We'll roll
And
the
it holds
dice
you
on it.
personally responsible for it.
Yeah.
So they get into this cave, and there's this giant pearl that attracts Tarn first, and then Falcon into the water, which is only ankle deep at this point. And he's trying to chisel out this pearl because he's like, "We'll rebuild our city with this, and no problem, right?" But as soon as the pearl comes out, the water starts rising.
Yes, Red Sonja's like, "Don't you see the water?"
It's like a mechanical dragon? Is that the best way you
pretty
can
much.
describe
That's
it?
about what it is. Yeah.
Comes out from the water, but it's like the shape of an alligator. It's not like a dragon with wings. It's like a Chinese dragon kind of with the face of a Chinese dragon. And it's swimming around, and it sticks its head out long enough to be like, I'm the killing machine.
Which is so tropey, because how often did they do that through all the movies that we watched as kids? I mean, twice in Star Wars I can think of. I mean, they did it during the garbage scene, right? Whatever, it's in there, and Han's like, touch my leg.
And then in Dagobah.
And then you got the Dagobah where it spits out R2-D2. And shoots him way out.
Wait, we forgot the touching scene before this, where Sonja and Tarn have a moment.
I'm skipping right over that. Are you talking about when he trains her?
Trains her. She trains him.
That's after this.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about where she goes to spank him?
Yeah. Well, after that.
Because he's being
Well, that's after
disrespectful.
too, I think, when they're trying to get across the bridge.
I got you.
Okay.
So anyway, this thing comes out of the water, and it starts to attack the three of them. And, even they're hitting it, and you just hear clang, clang, clang against the metal. There's no score in this whole scene. It's all played to dead silence. It's just the sound of the water.
Whooshing,
Odd. And Prince Karn, every time he hits something with a sword, he has to spin it around
he
first.
spins a lot of swords,
Stupid.
Spin.
Yeah, I think he was like one of those baton twirlers in a marching band at one point.
Conan finally shows up.
Yes, again, of course.
Jumps in immediately. He's like, I got to save you again, and jumps in and just starts wrestling with this thing.
Right. It's a pretty good cinematography.
Well, and they're all hanging on the walls. They're out of the water at this point.
Yeah. And dude is getting blasted in and out of the water what it felt like for 2 straight minutes. I'm just thinking of him filming the scene and just like,
it's pretty good because they had shots under the water too, which were pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, well shot. Yeah. Absolutely. But I did think it was ironic that eventually you hear Arnold go, I cannot kill it. It is a machine.
Yes.
After having just shot Terminator.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, my. How the turntables have
turned.
Yeah.
Wait.
How the tables have turned.
The turntables have turned.
It was an Office reference. Michael Scott. None of you guys watch The Office?
Yeah.
We watched it for this podcast.
Did you?
Yeah. Remember?
No.
We did Office.
Office Space.
No, The
Office.
Office.
The Office. Oh, I'm
the TV
sorry.
show.
Michael Scott, famous quote.
Oh, Michael Scott.
Because he screws up the saying. He tries to be dramatic. He's like, well, how the turntables have turned. And then he just stops. He doesn't even say turn because he realizes he said turn before tables.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's much funnier when he does it.
Yeah. And
if any of you had seen The Office, that would have killed. Okay,
Right.
that's all.
I've seen it. I don't remember that particular one though.
It's fine.
I
The
never
people
watched
out
The
there that love The Office.
I've got to go watch
I
The
never
Office
liked
again
Jim
now.
in The Office. He was too annoying. Anyways,
Anyway, he goes, we have to blind it. He's got
Sonja.
this giant thing in a damn headlock.
Yeah.
Sonja,
Okay.
come help me blind it. You're supposed to be She-Ra. Come help me.
He starts carving the eyeballs
Yeah.
out of this thing, and they bust the eyeballs out.
Yes.
And now it's writhing around and can't hit anybody, so they're able to escape.
Hey, get away.
And immediately, the first thing I thought of, at this point, maybe I'm just trying to make it entertaining for myself, but I'm just like, who has to fix that thing?
Well, that's why Icole was so unhappy. He's
Right.
like,
It's a
"Man."
machine. It's built by somebody.
Somebody built it.
Somebody
Yeah.
had to build it. Yeah.
Some guy comes in with a toolbox and be like, oh, son of a...
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, we got to go.
He just pulls out his phone. He's like, beep, boop,
Yeah.
beep, boop, beep, boop. And it just shuts down.
Yeah. It's like,
Dives down into the water.
damn it, there's an eyeball shortage. 8 weeks to get eyeballs on this thing.
Well, and is it...
Goes
'cause it's-
back to
Icole calls
goes
up the
back to
maintenance.
the queen. Sorry, it's at least in 8 weeks. We're 8 weeks out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Granger's out of eyeballs. We're 8 weeks out.
Yeah. Picture Icole calling the maintenance department.
That's
Hey
what I'm saying.
guys, sorry about
Because
this.
it's a water thing, is it a plumber that has to come out and fix
He's
it?
like,
I wouldn't fix it.
And then
Not me.
you just hear Icole's side of the conversation. Like, I know, I tried to tell her. I tried
told
to
her.
tell her it's complicated, but
like, I just
you know
fixed
how
this
she
2 weeks
is.
ago.
So can you get it taken care of?
He's
for
like,
me?
I told
All
her
right, man.
to reinforce the eyeballs.
Yeah.
She just didn't want to pay for
There's only
the
so
eyeball
much I can do. I
reinforcement.
gotta wait.
I'll
Sorry.
tell her she won't be happy.
For those of you who don't know, Kurt's a plumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you could probably fix that thing if you needed to.
Yeah, I mean, in a pinch.
In a pinch.
I mean, if it needed to kill some people, I could get it working. I mean,
right, so-
at least until I can get parts.
Fine. Lower the water, pick the used eyeballs up. Maybe you can get them going.
Yeah, get them hinged in there.
Hinged
We're
in
good.
there. Yeah.
So back at camp,
You need fresh water though.
there's
You
a
need
couple
fresh
things
water.
happening here, and I'm going to be brief on these because they ultimately end up being totally pointless to the plot. She's kind of been rude to Tarn, Red Sonja, throughout this whole thing, calling her,
Well, he's a brat. She's
You're not
trying
a real
to. She's
man.
trying to educate him.
trying to educate him. Ultimately, she sees him practicing on his own. She goes over and tries to help him. Hey,
Don't want to grip it too tight. Gotta,
Right,
Gotta
which-
grip it gently.
Doesn't make any sense. Like it's easier to, it's harder to disarm you if you grip it gently. I feel like it'd be easier to rip the sword out of your hand, but
But if you're too tight,
what do I know?
doesn't work.
I don't know
Yes,
anything
I
about
don't
that
know.
stuff.
Yeah.
He tries to put the little riz on her, be like, hey, I need a queen someday.
queen.
Maybe, maybe it would be you.
The little Prince Mac and
Little
cheese.
Prince mac and cheese, right? Doesn't really go well.
No.
And, but I think she's warming to him,
She's warming.
and the two of them have this kind of interesting relationship.
The
going
first
on.
man she technically likes.
Right.
Well, not
Falcon
man, but
was like,
yeah.
thanks for helping him out.
That's right.
Gave her that look, like, good job. Good
Falcon
job.
is
So-
still just, no matter what happens, all in with Tarn, right? Like,
Yep.
Yep.
sworn to take care of him.
It's kind
guy.
of weird. He's Tarn's guy. Also, Arnold, this is where Arnold reveals that he's the High Lord.
Yes.
The reason I've been helping you is I'm duty bound to destroy the talisman myself. In fact, I was going there to the priestess's temple to make sure that it happened. And, I'm bound by duty to make sure that this thing gets destroyed.
You said duty.
He's also duty bound to try and get in that tunic. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what happened.
Get a little booty bound, if you know what I'm saying.
He's just like,
Just
by
like,
the way.
It's like Brightag. Brightag didn't have the moves, but I do.
That's right.
I've got some duty for the booty.
She's trying to nurse a wound on him, and he's just staring her down the
Yeah,
whole time
yeah,
with the
yeah.
smirk, the Arnold smirk, and he's just like, "What's going to happen here? I think we both know." Right? And she's like, "I made a vow, or no?" They kiss. She kisses him. She's into him.
Yeah.
But then she stops and goes, "I'm under a vow
Yeah.
that I cannot be with a man that hasn't been able to defeat me in battle." And even Arnold's like,
He's like, so the only man that you can have is one who already is trying to kill you? That's logic.
"That's logic."
I like that when he said that's logic.
I think at that point, Arnold actually started to act.
Yeah.
'Cause that was a pretty well delivered
pretty good,
line.
right?
I think he's like, crap, I'm in this movie now. I guess I'm going to have to act.
I gotta bring it forward.
So I got to turn it up a little bit.
This is the part I remembered most from when I was a kid. This fight that the two of them have.
Yeah.
They just start sword fighting immediately because for sex, like that's why they're sword fighting.
Yes.
Because they both want to have sex with each other.
Yeah.
And so they're back and forth. They fight for a while to the point where they're both
Exhausted.
so
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
They can't even lift their swords anymore.
Yeah.
And Tarn notices
Yeah,
something.
he's like, why does she fight so hard? She doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to win.
Yeah, she doesn't want to win. I like his line too. Before they start going at
Yeah.
it, he says, if you yield only to a conqueror, then prepare to be conquered.
That's right. Prepare to be conquered.
Don't be a fool. I don't want to kill you, Kalidor.
That's right.
Try.
You can try.
Yeah,
I'm going to kill you. I'm not going to say it.
I just thought it was funny because the Ghost of Christmas Past in the beginning of the movie says to her, she says, your sword forearm must have no equal.
Right.
Oh.
Except Arnold.
But Arnold is the equal of no one.
Yeah.
So I think if that fight had continued, she's going to die. Here's the problem. I know in the comics and in this movie, they have established her as very strong and very powerful. So it's really hard, though, to suspend disbelief in this fight when you see toothpick arms going against Arnold's tree trunks, slapping swords together. And I'm supposed to sit here and suspend my disbelief that they're on equal footing.
That he wasn't knocking her sword out of her hands every time he hit it.
Right. He has to take something off every time he's swinging that sword.
Right.
So she doesn't break her arms.
It is the most romantic sword fight I've ever seen. It was quite nice.
I thought it was going to end in a different way.
Yes.
But it didn't.
They just kind of slumped down.
They just kind of slumped down.
Like, all right, well, we'll
I just love everybody's like looking at their watches, like, all right, we're going to bed.
That's the moment when I said the pacing of this movie sucks.
Yeah,
because at this point there's only
so slow.
There's only 30 minutes left in the movie.
Right.
I'm like, come on, people, what are we doing here?
And it could have been 25 without this 5-minute sword fighting scene.
Like, we could have already been there and destroyed the talisman, but I've got to destroy you first.
No, we're not even going to do it.
That's right.
She's like, I'm tired.
Finally.
All right,
I got a headache.
It's typical. Too tired.
I've been waving my sword around here for half an hour. What's going on?
Maybe if you'd help with Prince Tarn more. Sorry. All right, so we're
You have no idea how fresh that is.
New dad in the group, right? Yeah. There you go.
all right, so here we are to the final showdown. They get to Queen Gedren's castle, and I laughed out loud. They go, look, it's Gedren's army, and there's 6
like 6 dudes coming out.
I'm like,
I mean, she's got a powerful sorcerer.
I know, but tell me it's just they couldn't afford it.
I
Like
know,
she's
it's
got
so
an army,
Arnold
right?
killed half of them when they were running down the zip line.
Right, those 7 would have made it
Just
at least
slicing
11
them in
guys.
half. It's probably the same 7
Probably
guys.
is.
Probably is.
Okay.
Just different hats.
Yeah.
Hats.
Put on
We gotta
different
put
hat.
different hats on now. They sneak up there. They find this big circular doorway that they can't figure out how.
Oh, the Looney Tunes wheel.
Yeah.
So they decide to leave Prince Tarn there to guard the door,
Yeah, but they do it in like a really creative way to make him
like a reverse psychology,
Yeah.
right? To
I
make him
can't
think
go because I got to hold the orb.
this is the most important post
I
of
can't
any
go
of us.
because I got to touch it.
Right.
Whoa.
That's true.
I can't go because I'm Arnold. I don't know. I can't.
I'll take my
stay.
chances in there.
Yeah.
And so they are going to climb the wall.
Yeah.
They're going to climb the wall while Tarn guards the door. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but they freaking Adam West
Yes.
this climb
Yes.
up this freaking mountain. They're crawling along the floor
Yes.
Yeah.
with
They
the
just
camera
flipped
tilted
the camera, right.
because her skirt is going towards the wall.
I missed that. I
It's-
was so into the climbing. I'm like, wow, look how impressive it is.
Gravity is going towards the wall while they're climbing up.
And you're like,
They're like, wait a second.
Maybe the
I was going, I kind of head tilted like a dog. Or just like, wait a second.
They've
I
got all
still
their
got,
hair
like-
pinned in.
I still got like 48 hours to watch this, so maybe I'll rewind it and look at it.
Yeah, rewind and look at. They've got all their hair pinned in or hairsprayed like crazy, so it doesn't
Move.
move.
Her mullet.
But her skirt is going towards the wall.
Maybe the gravity of the orb pulls the screen.
That's what must be what it was.
Had to have been.
Yeah, that's
It's magnetic.
yeah.
Okay, so after they're
The
done
skirts.
Adam Westing up
metal
this
in those
mountain, they get inside, and it cuts into the throne room, and Ikal has about had it. As the building is crumbling, he says, "What more do you want? Our vaults brim with gold. Great states fear us.
Yes.
You have every bad guy from Indiana Jones. What more could you possibly want?" She says, "The world."
I want the world.
Typical,
He's like, I'm out of here.
big time trope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does dip. He grabs
Like,
a
screw
bag
that.
of
I'm
gold.
taking some gold and going
He's
home.
I'm out.
Out of here.
He's had enough of her BS.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the good guys sneak in. They kill a bunch of guys. No score. Just like some slicing some dudes' heads off.
Yep.
And they sneak in, and then they split up. Red Sonja's like, I'm going to look for the throne room. You guys look for, I don't know, bad guys to kill, whatever. And they all separate. Falcon goes through this tunnel and ends up falling onto a giant dining room table.
Yep.
Yeah.
Massive one.
Yeah.
And starts eating the freaking turkey leg that's there while everyone just stares at him, all the bad guys.
Yeah.
It's like, then Arnold comes in the ceiling, and you guys ever go to summer camp? You know the blimp that you jump on in the lake?
Blob.
You know,
Blob.
the blob.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Just like that, he jumps down onto the table. So then Falcor goes flying across the other side of the room. And I thought what came after this was the best fight scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Was just Falcor and Kalidor going after dudes.
Bad guys.
It was awesome. And they actually had score.
Yeah.
There was music, like epic music going on.
Yeah.
Like they only had enough for 5 minutes. They couldn't use it in the earlier fight scenes.
Yeah.
They used it here, and I thought it was really Arnold cuts a dude's arm off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, let's go.
I was like, pick it up and slap him with it, Arnold.
That's right.
Knock out a horseman.
I'm going to save this for later. For your horse.
A bitch slap horses with your own arm.
Icole, who took the gold and dipped, runs into Tarn as he's trying to escape because he's guarding the door.
Yeah.
And just straight up backhands this kid after trying to talk his way out of it.
Yeah.
And the way he's able to kill Icole is as he's going through the circular door, he throws his sword into the mechanism and closes it.
Crushes it.
And so the thing rolls down and crushes him.
That was good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy always dies in the worst ways.
Yeah.
In these movies where he's not being melted by the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there screaming like, while he's getting steamrolled by this door.
I thought he screamed a little longer. You probably would.
Yeah, I think his face was
Probably.
already under there. And he was
Yeah.
just going, All right, now this part I've been waiting to talk about. Red Sonja is running through the hallways on her own trying to find Gedren. And she does this thing where she runs straight up to camera. Now she's in a real close-up on camera. And she yelled, Gedren, where are you? Right?
Very Arnold.
Right?
Very Arnold-ish.
But the look on her it's like the director said, no. Come back again, but do it like you're a crazy person. The look on her face is that of total sheer insanity.
Yes.
Yep.
Well,
Right?
she's mad.
It was awesome. It was like the best acting take she had.
It was the best act. Yeah, exactly.
The whole movie. She eventually gets into Gedren's throne room. And I'm going to gloss over some of this because it's not important. Tarn is there for no reason because Gedren uses him as a shield for about a second before she realizes that she can't go that way. So they all clear the room, and that's all pointless because it's just coming down to Sonja and Gedren in the throne room.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the best exchange of dialogue in the entire movie. I'll set this up. Gedren says to her, we could have ruled together, but now you will die for what you did to me. And Sonja goes, you slaughtered my parents like cattle, my brother,
Yes.
my sister. And she goes, what are their lives compared to this?
Yes.
And rips her mask off. And there's
She's
like
got a little gouge.
just a baby gash.
You got me with your
Just a little one.
She's very vain, apparently.
I watch this and I go, seriously, that's it?
And then
I had to rewind that to see that again, going, wait, what was so dramatic that she's so mad about? And I'm
She's
like, "That's
horribly
that.
disfigured.
Yeah.
Horribly
I
disfigured.
thought it was kind of sexy disfigurement.
It was a little scar on her cheek.
Yeah, like I was really hoping for like a Two-Face reveal.
Right.
Like her head just melted, skin graft.
like it was her just
pus
her
and boils.
because it ripped.
Yeah, show through to her teeth or something.
I mean, it would be painful.
No, it was like
Instead,
a
it was
scar.
something you bought at like Spirit Halloween store and just glued on the side of your face.
And then it wasn't even there in the fight scenes.
no, it would
No.
just disappear
it
for
just
shots.
disappeared.
Yeah. I was totally confused. And I didn't catch it at the beginning of the movie, so I'm like, wait, where? And then my wife's like, oh, yeah, she said something about that like an hour and a half ago.
An hour and a half ago.
The fact that it was so minor, such a minor,
Yes.
her disfigurement was this little gash. The fact that she says, what are their lives
Seriously.
compared to
Well,
this?
It just shows how evil. She's so self-absorbed and narcissistic.
Yo,
Yeah.
You cut my face.
I couldn't
I
believe
mean, I
that.
could make the argument that your crown mask was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice.
And that's the thing. She's got this little gash. She's still smoking hot.
Yeah,
Right.
she is.
Even with the thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It made it look fine.
Sandal
with it.
Bergman is
Terrible
fantastic.
actress.
Fantastic. I don't know how good of an actress she is, but she's good to me at kicking ass. I mean, in
Yes.
Conan the Barbarian.
She was more believable as a bad guy than most of the bad guys in the movie. I don't know if that's just because of the comparison. I mean, the Eichel, he was pretty good too. He was a good villain.
I wanted her to be Red Sonja, Sandal Bergman.
Yeah.
Oh.
In fact, they offered her
I never
the
would have
role.
thought of that.
So Sandal Bergman herself is 6 feet tall. Right? She's a tall woman.
She's a...
And they offered her the part, probably to team her back up with Arnie again, because they had a big success with Conan.
Yeah.
And she wanted to avoid being typecast, so she's the one that asked to be the evil queen instead. We could have had her instead of Brigitte Nielsen.
So there's two we would have rather had than Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I thought Brigitte was all right. In a movie that's,
Your
not very
jaw
good.
literally hit the floor. Are you okay?
You just said
sound
Sandal
you heard?
Bergman is a terrible actress
She
and
is.
that Brigitte Nielsen was all right.
I thought she was better than
She was
Bergman.
terrible.
They were both awful, but Bergman was worse. But are we going to talk about the sorcerer attacking her?
We're doing that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So they start to fight.
Oh, you mean Beekman from Beekman's World?
They start fighting.
Bill
They have a
Nye.
whole sword fight throughout the throne room. And
Yeah, she keeps like...
Well, not yet. So I'm getting to that. So they start fighting throughout the entire throne room, and it's a normal sword fight until she starts disappearing.
Yes.
The queen, because we see that somewhere behind the scenes, we think is this is this wizard who is throwing smoke into a pan and making her disappear all over the
Reappear
room.
other
They
places.
figured out how to make Wonka vision work.
Yeah, it's true. She's like teleporting.
Is this basically Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
The last
Yeah,
place she
kinda.
teleports to is the throne. Now she's lounging on the throne. And now the new spell is every time Sonja tries to advance on the queen, the wizard takes a knife
It's like a voodoo doll.
into a bowl
Yeah.
and it slices her somewhere on her body. And the whole time I'm thinking, you guys thought that this is happening somewhere behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, it's just across the room.
No, he's right there.
Yeah.
Because
like-
Gedren finally glances over at him, and Red Sonja finally is like,
Like, looks.
there's someone else here?
There's something going on."
Let me
Not
go
just
kick
here,
his ass.
like 10 feet away.
Yeah, literally. Like 5 steps away, she goes and gets him.
How did Sonja not notice him before? It took Gedren looking, which that was a bad move to glance over
Yeah,
at
it
your
was.
wizard because you just hosed your guy, right? The wizard.
She was seeing what he brought up
He
on
literally
TV.
was like, "What are you doing? Why are you looking at me? Stop looking at me!"
So then she follows Gedren's eyes, like, "What are you looking at over here?" And she sees, like, as far as you are from me,
Right, yeah.
Ryan,
Right here.
Yeah.
This
And
way,
he
exactly.
literally goes, "Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain."
Yeah, they both look shocked like she's coming after him.
Whoa, what?
Gedren's like,
He's like-
oh, no. And she's
And you
like,
think he
"No,
would just
she's
start
going."
stabbing the
Yeah,
bowl?
yeah.
Do something.
Dude.
Cast a spell.
Yeah.
What kind of wizard are you?
You've got like 18-inch fingernails. Just
Yeah.
poke him in the bowl and stab
That
her.
was
He
so
just
stupid.
quivers when he realizes she's coming.
Ease himself a little. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Charles's trope. Head's got to go flying way up in
Yep.
the air.
Yeah, this is the head that goes flying up. Yep.
She cuts his dang head off.
Yeah.
Brigitte Nielsen head up, spikes it for the win.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, Queen Gedren sitting over in a throne going, I think I screwed that up.
Yeah.
She has
I can't disappear now.
She has an oh shit moment. She's like, yeah, that
Dang,
was
I
bad.
can't watch Dancing Naked Girl anymore.
She books it out of there, and Sonja follows after her. The final showdown happens in the Room of Light.
The
Chamber of
Sensi
Light.
Room of Death.
The Sensi Room of Death. Queen Gedren gets in there. She tries to close the portcullis, but Sonja is able to roll underneath it. So
Yeah.
it's just the two of them in there, sword fighting in the room full of candles. A cool visual, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're fighting. They're in the middle of a sword fight for the fate of the earth. Arnie and Falcon get up to the portcullis, and she's in the middle of a sword fight. And he's like, Sonja, over here, look at me. Don't distract her, dude.
She's
trying
finally fighting.
She's fighting somebody. Like, no, go here, open this door so I can kill her. She doesn't. She ignores him. They're able to Falcon, because this is Arnold's thing from Conan the Destroyer. Like 6 different times in that movie, they had him opening and closing giant doors. It's like he spent more time in the movie closing and opening doors than he did fighting guys. And so he's like, and he lifts the portcullis just enough for Tarn to slide in.
Yes.
Which ultimately was pointless because he serves no purpose in that
Didn't do
room
much.
either.
He spun his sword around a few times.
He spun
Yeah,
a
he
sword
spun
around.
a sword around.
The room splits in half like earthquake style.
Yes.
Okay. Then one of the candle towers falls on Tarn. He's trapped. Right?
Sonja, help me.
He's yelling, "Help me!" But she doesn't even help him. This is why it's pointless for him to
Can't.
even
She's
gotten
gotta
into
fight
the room.
Gotta
evil
fight
queen.
Gedren.
Right.
Yeah.
So she looks over at him.
And he just goes like this. And he just puts his hands on his head and just waits. Like, all right, I'm gonna chill here for a while.
but it gave her, like, seeing him trapped gave her the power of the ancients or something, because at that point on, Queen Gedren just looked terrified, and she was just smacking the sword
around,
and breaks Gedren's sword,
yeah.
runs her through, sends her into the lava river that's in the crack in the earth.
Yeah.
Very unceremoniously picks up Bodeye's angry cousin, chucks that down into the lava.
Bodeye's angry cousin's happy now because he's reunited with his friend the Ring.
Yeah, I thought that too. It did look like that.
Cast it into the fire!
Well, I was concerned a little bit that if it likes light, would it like heat too? Maybe it would supercharge the thing. And
we ended up with this pillar of fire.
Big fire coming out. Yeah.
I was like, is that what was going to happen to the priestesses if they did it before? Maybe.
Well, I think that was a dark
Is that what it
toilet
was?
they were flushing it down or trying to anyway.
Yeah, you got to be careful with
Yo, and the prophecy states, we shall flush the dark toilet, and then the world will be saved.
I had to install one of those. That's high money.
How do you plunge one of those, Curt?
You can't. You go to it. It's like a really high powered garbage disposal.
You need a ice fishing hog.
You look down inside there, and there's a lava river. You have to be careful.
You gotta be careful with those.
Splashback is terrible.
Yeah,
You don't want to splashback on those. Oh, imagine.
Hurt the little hair down there.
Yeah, well, hey.
Charles would still want a bidet, even if
Oh yeah. You gotta have a bidet on one of those. You gotta steam that bad boy off. Just cool it down.
Can I get one of the TVs with it with the steam so I can watch belly dancers?
I'm going to fast forward. They all run out of the castle, and the
End of
castle
the movie.
explodes.
End of the movie.
It's like it's only a model. It was like a model of a castle exploding. It was great. And
Well, I love the cut. It's like explodes and just a little toothpick hits Arnold in the cheek, falls off.
the giant chunk.
Some high schoolers' clay project from their art class. Just
The thing blows up. A giant boulder's coming to camera. They're like, "Oh no!" And it cuts to Arnold. It's just a little thing like hits his face.
I stopped it for you.
Right.
There's a lot of lifting in that escape, though.
It was only a model. He had to lift
He
up.
lifted like 3 or 4 things.
We had to do like Atlas, where he was holding up the ceiling.
Yeah, I noticed that when it actually fell, there was still room. Like they could have gotten through.
For sure.
I also love that after he does the and he's holding it up with his shoulders, and he does the I'm gonna escape, and he walks down, and the things are bouncing because they're obviously styrofoam.
Right.
But it's just really funny to see things that are supposed to be so heavy, but they just boing, boing, boing.
The
boing.
walls are wobbling at different parts. They're running
great.
down the hallways and stuff. It's great.
It's like you didn't cut quite far enough.
Yeah.
Some of his best acting was moving light foam pieces to make him look like they were
Right,
really
and
heavy.
he's got his veins popping, and it's like he's got to tense up for that, and it's good stuff. They do have one little final battle between the two of them. So as Sonja and Arnold and Tarn and Falcor, I did it again.
That's all right.
Falcon are leaving to go rebuild their city. He takes one more chance. Like, listen, I'm under a vow. I cannot be with anyone who's not defeated me in combat. And I thought he was going to throw the swerve ball and let her win and be like, oh, you defeated me. Like, smart trick, right?
Yeah.
But no, they clash swords and they kiss, and they're off the other two ride like, oh, enough of this kissing crap, and they ride away. And the credits roll on the two of them kissing for what I thought was a freeze frame, but the horse is still moving.
Yeah, the horse just are we done yet?
How long are they holding this kiss for?
Yeah, I didn't wait very long. I stopped it at that point.
the horse was like, do I leave? Do I stay? What am I supposed to do here?
This guy's going to punch me if I stick around. That's the end of Red Sonja.
All right.
Whew.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. I literally watched this movie. I think I finished it about 45 minutes before I came here, and I don't remember very much of it at all.
I appreciate that. Well, look, here's what we do. Every single time we have a movie on the chopping block at the end, we're going to give it some flowers, some awards, some good awards, and some that you wouldn't want to win. But we always start with the same one, and that's the Will Patton Award for Intensity.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure
They remember forever the night they played the Titans.
That's right. Will Patton brings intensity and focus and just seriousness to every role he plays, no matter if it's the most ridiculous movie ever like Red Sonja. And so who in this movie displayed that level of commitment and intensity in their role? Who is your nominees for the Will Patton Award for Intensity? Ryan.
And I went with Sandahl Bergman as
Sandahl Bergman as Queen Gedren.
She was the psychotic queen, man. She didn't break character. I thought she gave it her all throughout the whole movie.
All right. You were in it.
Yeah,
totally bought it.
I bought it. I bought her.
Kurt?
I went with Breitag.
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 Yeah.
The 177 men.
Yeah.
No, I think you just mistake Breitag for an actor.
Oh, maybe I did. You might be right.
Pat Roach. I love it, man.
I enjoyed his performance.
His one scene.
He was the most believable guy there.
Yeah, he was. And he was pretty intense when he delivered his lines about intro.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely.
Feed your eyes to the birds, red hair.
Yeah. I should have.
I do like his downslope on that.
I know.
Red hair.
That's how we would do it. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'm guessing you're not going with Sandahl Bergman.
Now I'm going with Prince Tarn. Ernie Reyes Jr. He brought it every take, man. He was full throttle.
That's true. He was whipping and kicking and spinning swords.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't touch on was when Arnold picked him up. I was like, yes, throw him to the moon. Throw his ass to the moon, and Arnold put him down.
He, at one point, jumped on Arnold's back when he thought he was trying to kill Sonya. Like, no, I'm trying to sleep with her, not kill her. Yeah.
I like Prince Tarn. I thought he brought it.
All right.
Either way, he wanted to stab her.
He was annoying. I had to embrace him because he was in the movie a lot. And I'm like, all right, I can either be super annoyed every time he's on here or just be like, all right, he's a little kid. He's a spoiled prince. They're trying to do a little character arc in there. I give him credit for that.
Bob would be so disappointed in you.
I chose to be super annoyed with him the whole movie. Every scene it was in, I'm like, oh, damn it, just kill this kid already.
Look, I went with Sandahl Bergman as my Will Patton nomination. Dude, I fully believe she was invested completely in this character.
Yeah.
And dude, when she said, the line that sealed it for me was what is their lives compared to this?
And rips that mask off.
She got a little mosquito bite that's scarred up on her face.
As dumb as it was, this is the kind of what I was talking about. As dumb as it is, she was fully in it.
Sold it.
That's fine. She might get a different award from me.
Oh, all right. Perfect.
We call that foreshadowing, boys and girls.
We have patrons that play along with us each and every episode. And so if you would like to do the same, if you want to submit your awards, have them read on the show and participate right along with us, patreon.com/badmoviesrule. And the awards tier is on there. And you can join us and be part of the show. We'd love to have you guys. We got Sean McHugh writing in, and he says, I'm going to preface my awards by saying that none of them will be Arnold. Oh, wait just a minute here,
Hold
Sean.
on.
What?
Does he give any reason why?
He says that's too cliche of an answer and would make this episode boring. Sean, Arnold makes every episode better. Not boring. Also, he couldn't win the Unsung Hero Award as this is already a spinoff of his film. Man, Sean, I respect you, brother.
Is the mayor going to have to look into some rules changes here?
An injunction or something.
Well, I guess I got to take that joke out now. All right. I was going to make him my unsung hero because I thought, they could only do a movie that was based off that character, but whatever.
He went with, for Will Patton.
I'll change it.
He went with Ernie Reyes Jr. for his Will Patton.
Good
That's
pick,
2 votes there. He said, it's sad when the best actor in the film, other than Arnold, is only 13 years old. He was the only one that was properly able to show emotion. He got into his role, and you can tell he enjoyed bossing people around. He also had actual fighting skills, and it's sad that he was better than all of the seasoned warriors. I'll give Ernie Reyes Jr.'s martial arts, even since he was a little kid.
Little kid, pretty good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I have nothing bad to say about Ernie Reyes Jr.
They were good.
I agree.
Good pick. Chris Cordray filling in. So Eric Valov was supposed to be with us today doing the awards, but he had to call off at the last minute, so Chris stepped in. He says, I was pulled out of the dugout to substitute for Eric Valov, and so I hate to speak for him, but I'm pretty sure these are his wishes. A blood pact with Bob. Whoever dies first would obligate the other party to go to their funeral and interrupt the pastor so that he could recite the head priestess's prayer over the talisman. Oh God of gods, it has become too powerful for us, and we must destroy it before it destroys us and the world. Forgive us now, for as we send it out of the light from which it draws its power into eternal darkness.
I think Bob would have liked the other speech. The touch it.
The touch it. That's right.
Yeah.
That's more of a Bob speech.
Only women can touch it.
With for his Will Patton, he went with Pat Roach's Breitag.
There we go.
What do we got? A 2 to 2 to 2 now.
2 to 2 to 2. He fought 177 men, and only one of them lived. He has no longer any legs. He loved that.
He's now rolling around in a wheelchair with shotguns pop out.
That wizard transported him into the 70s.
He says, that's pretty intense. Also, when you're the same guy that beat up Val Kilmer in Willow and Harrison Ford in Raiders, you can definitely look intense while just laying around on a bed all day.
There you go.
So I think
That's
absolutely. So Mark Gusick, the goose himself, is loose in Red Sonja, and he went with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so even though he was only supposed to have a glorified cameo in this movie, he was so intense in the 80s that they had to make him the star of this movie.
Yeah.
Yes, they're literally like, we need you. Nobody else even came close to doing what this man did. So we are left here with a three-way tie
conundrum
between Breitag and Sandal Bergman and Ernie Reyes Jr. I'm willing to be the one that breaks the tie only because I was back and forth on two characters, and one of them was another one that was voted. So if everyone doesn't want to change,
I'm not changing.
I'm happy to flip. It's not going to be one that you like because I almost went Pat Roach and Breitag, and so I'm going to switch mine to Breitag and give this thing to Pat Roach.
Good, yeah.
So
There we
Pat
go.
Roach finally gets his due because his job in every movie is just to get beat up.
And die.
That was one thought that crossed my mind too, but I went with someone that was in more of the movie.
No, for sure. But Pat Roach is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
The next award we give out is the award that Charles is about to give to Sandal Bergman. It's the award for the worst actor in the movie. It's the one that had the acting range of a trash can filled with dirt, which is why we call it the Steven Seagal trash can filled with dirt.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
That's pretty good, Ryan. Doing a good job at that.
He's heard it enough times. All right, so Ryan, love is eternal. And who is your eternal winner of the trash can?
This movie was eternal. That's a long time.
It felt eternal.
Especially for Charles.
90 minutes felt like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
or 2.5
I went
hours.
with Eddie Reyes Jr.'s Tarn. I mean, even
really? That's interesting.
even though
The
his
trash can.
Yeah, the trash can, because his martial arts were spot on. His baton twirling was spot on, but you could, I mean, he was just a baby Veruca Salt. I mean, you could have got any whiny kid to play this role, just dangling a candy bar in front of them the whole time. They'll scream and kick and yell just like Eddie Reyes Jr. did in this movie. So he's getting a trash can.
Here's what Chris Cordray said. He said, I agree with Bob about child actors when it comes to this movie, but I'm going with Ronald Lacey as Icole. He was also a very good actor from Raiders, so that this wasn't his fault, but his character did not need to be in the movie. The Queen already had a sorcerer/mystic.
That is true.
The director should have just made Ron Lacey the sorcerer and made him use the talisman, while the Queen had a general who was her top assassin. So
That would have been cool.
not so much
a good point.
about his acting, just his uselessness as a character.
Yeah.
So, Curt, who's your nominee for?
I mean, I don't know how you don't go with Brigitte Nielsen.
Oh, strong.
I mean, good Lord. The whole point of this movie was supposed to be to find someone who is Arnold's counterpart from Conan. And did they do that? No. They had to hire Arnold to come back in and carry the movie.
Yeah.
He might as well have just carried a trash can full of dirt in place of Brigitte Nielsen.
Listen,
That crossed my mind too. Brigitte Nielsen was on my list.
She did win something. Did you know she won something this year?
this year?
No, from this movie.
What you win from this movie?
The Razzie Award.
Well, that's
For new worst star.
If that doesn't prove it.
Yeah. She got the worst new star award.
Brigitte Nielsen is an actress, in quotes, in a movie here,
Yes.
Yes.
but she can't act.
No.
It's like a fish thrown into a lake that doesn't breathe
Can't
through water.
swim.
That can't swim
Yeah.
or breathe
Yeah.
water.
Can't.
I
no.
didn't think she was that terrible.
She's drowning
Right.
in basically what she. I couldn't. Not believable, not entertaining. Like there was nothing.
You're 100% correct.
The only thing I enjoyed was maybe her sword fighting. And even then, that was scarce through the movie.
I would rather
a
take
couple other things I enjoyed.
a Chuck Norris dick punch
That's more entertaining
then
this
why
entire movie.
and watch any more movies.
I mean,
that
it's
have
hard.
Brigitte Nielsen.
It's hard to top a ball to the nuts, kick to the nuts.
Bro,
I mean, you know.
She's supposed to be the main character, and she was just dog water.
Yeah.
Awful. She was hot dog water. You know
was
the hot dog water?
Yeah.
That where you sit the hot dogs in after
it's
a while?
useless.
It's absolutely
You can't even
useless.
use it for anything.
No.
You have to just toss it out.
You have to. You can't
I
make
think you guys
gravy
are
out of it. You can't do
Being
nothing with it.
mean to Brigitte. She wasn't that terrible.
She wasn't. She had no business
My,
being an
was not
actress.
good.
my trash can was worse.
She had no business being an actress. She's only an actress because she was hooking up with one of the
Yeah, but
most
she's
famous guys in
supposed to be the
Hollywood.
main star.
Attractive,
That's
and
the
she
thing that kills
flung
me.
a
Right,
sword.
but she shouldn't have even been an actress in the first place, is what I'm saying. She had no. There's so many other people at the time that probably
what
were
was her
tall
gimmick?
and good looking or whatever that were much better actresses, but
We
couldn't
came
break
up
in.
with two
Sandal
examples
Bergman.
during the podcast.
I'm just saying there were no
Yeah.
name actresses at the time that could out act her and were probably tall and built and good looking
right.
that could actually act, but she just got it because she's hooking up with Sylvester Stallone.
Sigourney Weaver would have been great in that.
So I'm saying,
Oh, yeah.
Redhead
right.
Sigourney.
who is your
He just glazed off to the sky
I
like Bob
did.
does.
Yeah, he just glazed over like Bob.
All right.
all right, Charles, give us your trash.
Sandal Bergman was awful.
She was not
Every
awful.
line she
Not
delivered
awful.
was terrible, awful,
great.
worst, stilted,
Worse than Brigitte
terrible.
Nielsen?
Yes, worse than her because
Worse
she
than
was,
Lady Arnold.
Here's why. Here's
Lady
why.
Arnold.
Because
Don't even taint
Queen Gedren-
Arnold's name like that.
Queen Gedren tried. And
Yeah.
she was awful.
She tried and she was
I don't
good.
think Brigitte Nielsen tried anything. She just showed up and did whatever. but
Oh, I think
she
that was her
terrible.
giving
No,
110%.
I thought
Based
I think
on
she
other,
was.
I didn't-
I
I
think she
didn't
had
hate-
it in the bag.
I didn't
based
hate
on other
Brigitte.
movies that Brigitte Nielsen is, has been in, I've seen, that was her trying because that was about the same as every other movie.
Sandal Bergman was. Have you ever seen All That Jazz?
No.
She's a Broadway dancer. She's like legit doing theater. She was an actress.
Well, she might be good in other stuff.
Came up through
She was not good in this. I didn't like her.
hard.
Was
disagree.
Brigitte Nielsen good in anything else?
Not what?
No.
Even in Rocky IV, she sucks.
Yes.
Right? He's like Popeye. He eats his spinach every day. You know. This is so I'm saying.
Okay.
It's like Daniel Green reading cue cards.
Well,
Just-
He is a professional boxer, not a killer. This is her in the Rocky IV.
Right.
Just stupidity throughout the entire thing.
she's a voice actress now, apparently.
Good for her. All right, the next
in
award that we
Creed
give
2.
out. Next award we give out is the Steve James Unsung Hero Award. Who is the actor in the movie, not in the lead role, that made this movie better just because of their presence alone? They saved their part of it by being great, just like Steve James in every movie he was in. So, who was the unsung hero of this movie for you?
all right. So
Oh wait, I
was gonna say-
forgot to get to the
I was
patrons.
saying we get paid.
wait, yeah, and you didn't
Yeah, you
do
didn't
your
get
trash
yours
can
either.
either.
Oh, I thought it was clear.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
You're
okay.
joining in. We're doing
Nielsen.
Brigitte
Let's-
We
Nielsen.
have to
All right,
read it.
all right.
We
That's
have to
two.
read it into the
Yes.
record for
Yes, Brigitte
the
Nielsen.
meeting minutes for this.
For the record.
Yep.
It's official.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, so Sean McHugh also went Brigitte. She just couldn't act. There's really nothing else to say. That's how short it is.
That's fair.
Thing. And then, as we know, Chris already went with Ronald Lacey, and then Mark the Goose Gussick went Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah.
No matter what movie I've seen her in, she is complete trash. This being her first movie, she was absolutely horrible. I hate child actors as much as Bob, but somehow she was worse than the kid in this movie. You can see for yourself. Like it's self-evident. Just
It
watch.
was close for me.
The only time she
It was
had
a
any
coin
good
flip
acting
for
was
me.
in Flavor Flav, whatever that show was. That
Flavor,
she was,
Flavor of Love or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible. All right.
I wonder if she's good in the movie she'd do in Denmark.
I know. We're gonna see. One of them got added to the list called Mercenaries. We'll talk
She was
about
a
that
talk
another
show
time.
host for 36 episodes.
Oh, was she?
That's weird.
Weird. All right. So who's your unsung hero?
Unsung Steve James. There's another coin flip for me because I was Pat Roach or Ronald Lacey. I think
Okay.
I'd go with Ronald Lacey as
Ronald
Eichel
Lacey
on this one.
as
I just liked
Eichel.
his character. I thought
I
a
thought
little
he was
bit
good. Yeah.
comedic relief,
Yeah.
voice of reason. Would have been nice to have him in a movie a little more.
Yeah. Fair enough. Kurt,
well, since I had to take Arnold off the table,
you don't have to. You do whatever you want.
no. I actually went with the Queen.
Queen Gedren.
Yeah, I liked her. I'm the opposite of Charles over here. I thought she was fantastic. I
don't
want to
have-
see her as a villain more often.
She was awful.
If you don't have a good bad guy,
Right. But we did not have a good bad guy.
We did a great bad guy.
No.
Great.
I mean, maybe compared to Brigitte, maybe that's why she seems so much better.
Hopping around in her Ultimate Warrior mask and her yoga pants.
Well, I'll say this. I liked her character. I didn't think she was good at acting it.
Okay. I don't know. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I liked her hat. She had a cool hat.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are we at this point?
All right. So refresh my memory. You went with
I went Ronald Lacey, yep.
and you went with
The Queen.
The Queen.
I forget her name. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sandoval Bergman.
Was Stephen James Award here?
Yeah, we're on the Steve James Award. I'm gonna give it to the same guy I gave my award to and go Pat Roach as Breytag. I think was the unsung hero of this movie.
I actually go Breytag too.
Breytag, let's go. Sean McHugh went with Ernie Reyes Jr. with an honorable mention to Paul Smith. He said he carried the movie, in my opinion. He carried the movie. Sean, first you're like, I'm not giving Arnold anything, and then you're going to say that Ernie Reyes Jr. carried the movie.
Right.
They literally put Arnold in the movie as much as possible to carry the movie.
They had to go and throw more money at him to be in this movie more, to carry the movie. Because they saw after the first 5 minutes that this thing was a complete pile of dog crap.
My honorable mention, by the way, is Swordmaster.
Oh, the flag
guy. I could have seen more here.
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
I would rather watch a buddy film with Tarn and Falcon. Imagine, that would actually be a good movie. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
They go on a globe-trotting martial arts, or imagine this is his kingdom is destroyed. They leave the nation in search of a new one, and they go on a globe-trotting martial arts adventure.
That'd be fun.
And after many years of searching and finding his true love, they find a tiny island nation in the Pacific called Patusan, where he starts a new kingdom. Boom! It's a surprise prequel to Surf Ninjas.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
That would have been great.
You saved it. Nice job, Sean. Chris Cordray said, even though Arnold wasn't in a lead role, he still had that leading man presence. So I'm going with Janet Argan as Sonja's sister, Varna.
Varna.
She was not in a lead role, but took it seriously and was the actress that competently connected Kalidor to Sonja. A year later, she would be in Hands of Steel. So Janet Argan gets a vote. Love the love going out to Janet.
And we thought she was Sonja.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mark, the Goose, went with Paul Smith as Falcon just because he had to act with a stupid kid as much as he did. Listening to him whine, even if it's acting, makes you give him this award, makes him worthy of this award in my... Hey, how does that say? Listening to him whine, even if it's acting, makes you him this award?
Probably win. Maybe it's a typo.
Yeah. Listening to him whine, even if it's acting, makes you give him this award. In my book, it's Paul Smith. So yeah, I agree with you, Mark. That's a lot to deal with. But with 2 votes, it's going to be Pat Roach is going to win 2 awards. He's going to win the Will Patton and the first time ever Will Patton and Unsung Hero Awards winners. Pat Roach. I
For
love
one
that.
scene.
It makes me so happy.
Tells all you need to know about this movie. Guy was in one scene, wins 2 awards.
Sean gave us the he wanted to do Bob's awards, so he gave us his Hot Babe Award.
Oh, okay.
Guess who that was?
Better not be Brigitte Nielsen.
Sandahl Bergman.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Much more attractive than Nielsen, even with the scar. Like, yeah, bro, the scar barely gets in the way. I'm really worried about that scar, bro.
Even if there's a scar, she easily covers it with her hair.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant in the way of her being beautiful.
Right.
I did. I appreciate you're redeeming yourself from leaving Arnold out of everything here, Sean. And he goes with his Rain Award. Sean goes, okay, I lied. This one's Arnold's. Yes. That's right.
Yes.
Cling.
Fantastic. You totally redeemed yourself, brother. All right, guys, we got a couple more awards to give out. So this is for your top 3 favorite performances. Who are the performances that you enjoyed the most in this movie, Ryan?
Top 3, Arnold's biceps, Arnold's shoulder muscles, and Arnold. I'm just kidding.
It's valid.
2 of those 3 anyway. Actually, number 3, I had Sandahl Bergman.
Okay.
I enjoyed her performance, even if Charles hated her.
I did not like her.
2, Paul Smith as Falcon. I thought I liked his character. He was great. And then, of course, our number 1's Arnie.
I swear he's about to put her in his top 3. That's going to be the ultimate troll job. What's going to happen here in a minute? Is Charles is going to put her in the top 3.
He's going to.
Who in the top 3?
Sandahl Bergman.
I'm not that creative.
All right. Sean went with Ronald Lacey Eichel at number 3, Sandahl Bergman at number 2, more love for Sandahl, and Ernie Reyes Jr. and Paul Smith. He really wanted the spin-off movie of these two. He's got them tied for number 1.
Wow.
So interesting. All right, Curt, who's your top 3?
I went with the Queen, Sandahl Bergman.
Nice.
I also went with, what was her name? Jarna? What's the
Varna.
sister?
Janet Argan.
Janet Argan.
Varna was the character's name.
Got it. So her, I liked her. I would have liked to have seen more of her in this movie. Mm-hmm. And then, how can you not go with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That's right.
I just feel like that is like...
Because the truth is the truth.
It is what it is.
He's the one that pushed this movie over a 5 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
I will say, though, I think it's a disappointment for people that are Arnie fans.
I can't believe Sean didn't have him in his top 3.
I just feel like anyone who's like, man, I want to see a good Arnold movie. And they're like, have you seen Conan? And it's like, oh, yeah, I love Conan. You should go watch Red Sonja. No one's going to do that.
Don't do that.
So it's like, is this got to be his worst movie? Is there anything
Maybe
else?
Hercules in New York, maybe.
That's probably more entertaining than this movie.
Maybe. We'll see someday. Chris Cordray said number 3 went with Paul Smith as Falcon. I think Paul Smith's getting a lot of love. Yeah. I just like that big oaf trying to protect the kid, and he did have some awesome throwing knives.
He did.
Number 2, he went with Sandahl. Sandahl Bergen's been everybody's number 2 so far. I think, right? Or you were number 3?
But it's all right. Yeah, they're interchangeable.
I had her at 3 too.
She's just a good actress. The Razzies nominated her as the worst supporting actress for this film. But the 1985 Razzies committee can sit on a fire hose and think they are turning on a bidet for that choice.
Yeah, they nominated her for worst supporting actress. They're right.
Bidet,
Those people are right. They're professionals at the Razzies.
And Chris Cordray goes number 1, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Absolutely.
He wasn't in a lead role, and he still didn't phone it in. Props to Arnold. Yeah, look, for mine, I went with Paul Smith number 3, Sandra Bergman number 2, and Arnie number 1. Number 1. That's it.
You have to.
I'll never not have him number 1. And Charles, do you want us to go to Mark Gussick's first, or do you want to have the final word, or what do you want to do?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so my number 3 is Brigitte Nielsen.
Oh, jeez.
I like Red Sonja. I thought she was cute. She looked cute.
Yeah, with her mullet.
Yeah, I like mullets.
You thought she was cute?
She was cute.
All right.
And she could fight.
If you like mullets.
She could fight.
She actually literally had sex with Arnold, so there was real tension, chemistry going on. So Arnold didn't think she was so bad.
Gotcha.
So there was good chemistry between the two of them.
Even with Arnold inside of her, she didn't do well.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. So that's my number 3. I liked her. I thought she was fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Arnold. I got second. He makes the movie. He's fun. And then Paul Smith is first, Falcon. I like Paul Smith's character.
That's cool.
He was fun.
At least you're not like Sean, who doesn't have Arnold in his top 3 at all.
No, I mean, I think you can move those. I mean, Sonya's going to be 3 no matter what. But you put Arnold's Paul. I thought
Paul was good.
Paul was. I mean, his
he was good. He was good in this movie. No doubt.
I was worried he was going to die.
For sure.
I thought the snake thing was going to get him. The water drag.
The water machine.
The killing machine.
And he had a good funny line, it was expected, but when he's climbing up, he's like, diet starts tomorrow, all that stuff. He fell on the table. That was funny. Food.
Killing
cared
machine.
for the kid. That was very touching when he gave him the small bone.
That is true.
Yeah.
So see, he had everything going.
Yeah.
Even when Red Sonja was yelling at him, he was like, "She doesn't know your great qualities, sir."
Yes.
All that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Good guy. Mark Gussick said Sandahl Bergman number 3.
Yeah.
A little campy at times, but she was still damn good. That's right. You're right, Mark.
Absolutely right.
She made a good villain for the most part in this movie. Number 2 went with the robot gator fish dragon. I don't know what it was.
I'm surprised that thing wasn't rusty sitting in that water that whole time.
The hell this thing
Stainless
was.
steel.
But at least it had an excuse for acting all robotic, whereas somebody else didn't. Perfect. And number 1, Arnold. Really? There would be a question, who got this damn award? Me not giving this award to Arnold would be like Bob giving his number 1 acting award to a child actor. It just wouldn't work. And you're right there, Goose. Appreciate you, brother.
Goose is right.
So look, guys, we have to land on something here. Ultimately, we have to say whether or not, is everybody wrong? Critics, 21%. Audience, 28%. Is it a good movie? Is it a bad movie? We'll acknowledge that, but it rules. It's a lot of fun. Or is it like, no, this is trash. Throw it in the garbage. Where do we come down on this? Ryan, we'll start with you.
All right, so this one is.
I forgot the dog.
We're getting 2 dog scales because Mark Gussick
does it too. No, No, we so this one we've got a magical dog. He shits out. He shits out.
Starting out great. Don't leave me hanging, right? Don't leave me hanging.
Magical dog.
Magical dog shits out Arnold-shaped poops. So it's a bad movie that rules.
All right.
Just because Arnold's in it.
All right.
No Arnold, this thing is total, probably nuclear scale. We'd have to come up with something with it.
Fair enough. Here's what Sean McHugh had to say. Bad movie that rules. He says, I started this. I immediately expected just a horrible movie. But to my surprise, I enjoyed it. It's a bona fide 80s sword and sandal schlock. Nielsen was a horrible actress and honestly not that great to look at. But the rest of the main cast made up for it, and it's a blessing that Arnold's role was expanded even though her motivations were idiotic. Oh no, you cut my face. I quite like the character of Queen Gedren. This is definitely not a film I will actively seek out, but if I find it streaming for free, I'll give it another watch. Bad movie that rules from Sean McHugh. Good. Hey, Sean, brother, I know we got off on a rough start, but I think good job. You really brought it on your awards today, man. All right, Curt. Where you at on this, buddy?
I hate this movie. I will watch Boyfriend School before I watch this again.
Oh,
I hate this movie.
you didn't just slot this under Boyfriend School.
I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't even have a copy to burn. I streamed it and wanted my $2.99 back.
I had to pay money for this movie.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Curt
this
burned
movie
his
is
Roku.
this movie is crap. I hate this movie. And it's so hard for me because every day we come in here and we go, Arnold makes this movie better.
Right. Yeah.
Arnold only makes this movie better because it's Arnold, but the movie still sucks.
Yes, but imagine what it would have been without him.
Right.
It's still bad. I would not
I
watch
respect
it.
the tape.
I'm never going to watch this again.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you.
I would never watch this again. Even with Arnold, the love I have for Arnold, I'm never watching this again. Someone will be like, hey man, did you ever see this? No, but I saw Red Sonja. You ever see that? That's crap. That's 2 movies now that have burned me on this podcast. Bro, and I file Boyfriend School right before Red Sonja.
You're going to go home. One of these, you're going to get a knock on your door, okay?
Yeah.
And you're going to, after this take goes out on the internet, you're going to open it, and there's going to be a 6-foot Austrian smoking a cigar.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, hello, listen to me very carefully, okay? I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes. What do you need?
Why are you mocking me?
I like your voice. Right there, he punches me in the face. I don't even make it.
Are you Curt Mama?
I might be.
Yeah.
What do you need?
That's the end of your life right there. That's it. It's over, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, what a way to go.
So you've got,
you're getting a throat chop right there.
I don't think that's true because I have a quote from Arnold.
You've got 2 choices. I mean, now you can get the Amazon Chuck Norris kick where it's just the wind kicking your ass, and now or Arnold just shows up.
Or he just sends his cigar smoke in a box.
Right.
You just breathe it in.
Perfect. All right, here's what Chris Cordray had to say. He says, all right, for me, this is a bad movie that rules, but barely.
Yep.
The fart cloud in the beginning of the movie that gave Sonja her strength made me wonder why the editing team didn't just cut in the library ghost from Ghostbusters.
There you go.
It kind of looked like
it did.
same kind of shape.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know who the director of photography had to sleep with to get the budget for some of those shots, but I wish they would have put more money towards some army battles around the cities they were conquering.
Seriously, yeah.
Fun fact, I'm pretty sure I saw Sven Thorsson's face hiding behind one of those masks, which Arnold impaled. So I think I need to keep count on how many times Arnold Schwarzenegger has killed Sven Thorson in all of these movies. Still on an antibiotic because of Blarney Island, Chris Cordray. Thank you, Chris. Awesome. The Blarney Island thing kills me. All right, Charles. Now's the time.
All right, so I'm going to say this is a bad movie that rules.
What? After all that?
But only because I rarely do this, but I could watch this movie because it was funny. It was so bad.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
So that's how I don't hardly ever do that in this podcast. But I could watch this if it was. I wouldn't pay for it again. I was disappointed I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If it was streaming, it was on. I'd watch it just because it's so goofy and silly and dumb.
It comes in an Arnold box,
And
and
I
I'll
thought
watch
the
it
kid
again.
was
But
entertaining. And Brigitte Nielsen was awesome. I'm just jabbing that one.
I know, you're just going to keep throwing that one home.
I mean, I'll keep burning this to the fire.
But can I read what Arnold said about this himself?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So Arnold, and I wonder if this is actually true, but this is what he claims, right? He says Arnold Schwarzenegger says this is one of his worst, yet he laughingly claims that it's an excellent disciplinary tool for his children. I tell them if they get on my bad side, they'll be forced to watch Red Sonja 10 times in a row. It must be working because none of my kids has ever given me much trouble.
I love it. Nice.
So he's going to knock on my door and pat me on the back.
Yes,
that's what's going to
that's
happen.
what's gonna happen.
He would not destroy me. He would be like, I understand.
Yeah, sorry I made this movie. And I also guess he had a contract with that De Laurentiis guy, but he canceled or he quit it or he backed out of it after this because he was mad they expanded his role for some reason. I don't know if that was a pay issue or what. I don't know how that worked. But
it wasn't supposed to be.
They probably couldn't afford it after they couldn't make any of the money back.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so I'm yeah.
I'd say barely rules.
Barely
just to
rules.
be clear.
No, I think I'm with you. I would say there are movies that Arnold has made, or I should say there are very few movies Arnold has made which would even qualify for this show. I can't think of one of them, and some I haven't seen in a long time, like Raw Deal is pretty lowly rated on IMDb, but I gotta imagine that until I watch Hercules New York again, I don't know if there's any that I would ever say is just a straight up bad movie because I just enjoy watching him so much. So for me, it's kind of like Ryan said, it's a bad movie that rules just because Arnold's in it. So I will watch it if it comes on. I don't think I'll actually go, let's go watch Red Sonja.
Right.
But if it's on, I'll watch it because of Arnold's scenes. And he's got a freaking mechanical dragon in a headlock. He's just able to hold the thing there.
Kicking a mechanical dragon's ass.
I mean, come on, it's good stuff. So
I mean, if they were to make a clip on YouTube of just Arnold in this movie, I would watch that.
Yeah, I think his stuff is really good. It's obvious they tried to put him in as much money or as much movie as possible because the actress couldn't carry the movie on her own. It's supposed to be Red Sonja's movie. And every scene he shows up, he's either saving her life, killing more people than she is, or just, being like the main character.
Again, that's why I gave her the trash.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's a ridiculous movie. I think a couple people save it with like the Pat Roaches and Sandahl Bergmans and Arnold, but and even Paul Smith. But
my wife said something. And she said this could be a good remake movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Bones are there potentially. For this to be a pretty good movie, but you'd have to.
Who do you find to be Red Sonja though?
I don't know.
Like that's a very specific.
Right?
Yeah, you have to find somebody really good.
Yeah,
that can actually carry a movie.
Yes.
All right. Last word goes to Mark Gusick, and he had a lot to say, per the usual. So let me wet my whistle here.
We got
you see the size of this paragraph?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there more?
Yes.
Classic Gusick rant. Looks like it goes on the next page. Wow.
I don't know why they thought no one would really notice if they just pretty much stole the story from the first two Conan movies and mashed them together into one. Good work, guys. I may have also missed why they attacked Sonja's village in the first place because I was already annoyed by this movie in the first 5 minutes. At least explain to me why this happened.
No reason.
Also, did I miss who the hell this ghost was that gave Sonja whatever strength she was supposed to have? No lead up to how she ended up in feudal Japan, learning from a shogun with the most dangerous shoulder adornments ever. Was the reason of them holding on to this, or what was the reason for them holding on to the talisman for all this time? If they knew how dangerous it was going to be, why not just get rid of it a lot sooner instead of using the world's slowest cover? Just close her thing, just taking forever. Just chuck it down the hole. Right?
Yeah,
fair.
let it drop.
That is fair.
How was
Just
it held
dump
in
the
hole?
damn thing, call it a day. What's that?
How was it held in the hole?
I don't even know.
I didn't know there was a hole till they said there was a hole.
They had it on a card or
thing.
something. Yeah.
At the end of the movie, if this magic guy was teleporting Gedren around, or at the end of this movie, if this magic guy that was teleporting Gedren around and was like out in the open, what kind of dumb logic is that? Put that guy somewhere that Sonja couldn't reach so she couldn't just walk up to him and cut his damn head off.
The magic's like Wi-Fi. It can't get through the stone walls.
Yeah,
Got
that'd be true.
to have a clear line of sight.
It's early magic
Or he'll
development.
teleport her into the wall accidentally.
They have to have the little boosters in the throne room for.
Yeah.
It's like hanging too. His like platform was on ropes. It's weird. I can't be on the ground. I need to be up 4 feet off the ground.
Right.
Please. All right. The only thing that saved this movie was Arnold being in it as much as he was. Not seeing this for a long time when he wasn't on the screen. I couldn't wait for him to get back on, so I didn't have to suffer through anyone else's acting since it was mostly all garbage. Would Arnold make this movie better even though he was already in it? Well, yeah. Just make him play opposite himself as Red Sonja and Kalidor. Put the red wig on him. Be awesome.
It looked like the
Then
son
he'd be
of
trying to
Zorn.
do it with himself. Is that how that would work? I only will yield to someone who's defeated me in combat. I'll be prepared to be conquered. And everyone's
Well,
just like,
you're in luck.
terrible. All right. So $1 billion idea right there. Maybe if they had just done that, they wouldn't have had to cast Brigitte, and that would have saved us from her future endeavors, namely Cobra. Dog poop scale is as follows. This is like when you find out that your dog is broken out of his crate that he's been in all day, got through his dog door, and took a shit on your front porch, which you stepped in as you came in because you weren't paying attention. It's bad that he got out, but at least he shit outside, so it's easy to clean up. With all that's being said, this is a bad movie that rules. Arnold saves this movie when he's in it, and some of the sword fights are okay. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you, brother.
Nice.
I love the amount of thought you put into this.
Yes.
I'm really disappointed that you guys hated this so much. But I understand. Curt, I can't believe you put this underneath boyfriend's.
That is shocking to me.
It's awful.
I didn't think there was anything that was going to take that mantle.
I thought Gutenberg's New Zealand accent was far better than Brigitte Nielsen's accent,
Whatever
which
she
I
was
don't
trying
even
to
know
do.
what that was. I don't know if she was trying to do Conan. I don't know if she's trying to
This
do her own
movie was
voice.
so
I don't-
bad that Curt didn't have the single pun.
Right.
It's true. That's true. Oh my gosh, not one.
No, I couldn't even make
Couldn't
it
even
funny.
make it.
Couldn't even make it funny.
But isn't like
Well,
Brigitte
speaking
Nielsen?
of-
She's like Danish or something,
She is.
right? She could have just done her native
I enjoy
accent and-
Danishes.
Right.
They're fantastic.
All right. So next week we are going to be moving back into comedy territory, and we're going to be
All right.
doing a couple of actors that, as far as I know, have yet to have appeared on this show. We're talking about a movie from 1990 something called Encino Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
You guys ever heard of it?
Yeah,
We's in the juice, bro.
That's right, dude. We got Brendan Fraser, probably I think first time on the show,
Yep.
Yep.
and Pauly Shore,
Yeah.
and Sean Astin. All three of them, man.
All right.
Sean
Sa-
Astin's in
little
that?
Samwise Gamgee action. Oh yeah.
Forgot he was in that one.
So
He does well in comedies.
I remember almost nothing.
Yeah, I don't
from
remember
Encino
much
Man.
about
It's been
that.
forever since I've seen. I wore it out a little bit growing up because I think it was like mid '90s.
Yeah.
movie. So right, high school, right, and Pauly Shore was big then. You kind of
Huge.
like the Pauly Shore movies.
He kind of drove
Huge.
me crazy.
Yeah, even then he drove me crazy. I wasn't in on the whole Pauly Shore thing.
After a while, he did. Like by the time you get to the late '90s, I'm like, all right, enough Pauly Shore. He's a one-trick pony
For sure.
What he is.
So we'll dive back in. It's interesting to me to see Encino Man again and see if it holds up at all. It got randomly pulled from the list, so I'm excited to go back to it and check out some early Brendan Fraser and Pauly Shore action. And you guys can join us next week and see if we have the same opinions that we used to have about Encino Man. It's going to be a fun time. Nicole's going to be back in here. Clint's going to be here for Encino Man. It's going to be a good time.
right.
And I'm looking forward to it, guys. So thank you. Just want to say for joining us and sitting through the worst movie Curt's ever seen in his life.
Yeah.
Red Sonja. On behalf of the mayor, Ryan Mueller, and Curt Mummer and Charles Hewitt,
Yeah.
I am James Hauser. We want to thank you guys for listening. That's not the right button. I'm literally
No,
just
I
saying,
appreciate that. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about this one?
Yeah. That's more like it.
She cut her face and she wants to get back at her now. But she also kind of wants her. It's very confusing.
It's true, yeah.
Arnold's coming. He's gonna save her.
That's right. Brightag's Toll Road.
Forgot her iPass.
Thing you need to get through Brightag's Toll Road is actually I ass.
Yeah.